There's Jimmy.
Yeah, hold on here 1 second.
His
computer's
been fighting him pretty hard for the last, I don't know, 4 minutes, 5 minutes. Yeah. Right as you're getting ready to go, too. It's
You mean 4 decades?
Probably better said. But right as we're about ready to go, the computer put its gloves on. It's all, come on, bitch. You and me, toe to toe.
Of course.
Want some?
We've been having it over here, too. That's why I automated our intro.
If anybody's on Facebook or
didn't
YouTube,
even know it,
can you let me know if you're hearing this, seeing this?
Misery likes company. I'm glad you're going through it.
Hey, guys, happy SoFla.
Yeah. Making it work, making it happen.
Yeah, it should be going.
If anybody's on Facebook or YouTube, can you let me know if you're
I'm not
hearing
showing
this,
anybody showing up
or
on
not.
Facebook or
It's
YouTube
been one of
yet,
those
so I don't
days.
know.
Oh my god! Hey guys, happy South Florida.
Let's go.
It's been good on my side. So, I mean, our audio
first
should be
one
going.
is-
on
Yeah,
more
it should be
connection.
I just sold a house yesterday that
Now
I
they got
had
your
for
camera
4
going,
months
so we
that
can
I've
see your
never
beautiful
seen.
face.
I'm not showing anybody showing up.
So I sold a house I never saw in Palm Beach Gardens. So shout out
Hey,
to Roberta and
wanted
Deidre.
to
We got
do
the
a
deal
couple of
done.
shout outs. The
Very
first
tough
one
one.
is
They were going through a
I just sold a
separation.
house
Basically, it's a
yesterday
little
that
more
I had for
complicated than
4
that.
months that I've never seen.
And,
That's a challenge.
So I
actually
sold a
was
house I never
before
saw in
appointed
Palm Beach
realtor,
Gardens. So shout
which
out
is
to
appointed me.
Roberta and Deidre. We got the deal done.
No, I
Very
found
tough
out
one.
later
They were
through
going through a separation. Basically, it's a little more complicated than that.
And they'll pick you, so you got to like hobnob each of the
I
judges.
actually was a court.
And I don't have time for
realtor.
hobnobbing, so I don't.
You get on a list. You get on a list.
No, I
happened was
found out later
they
through a bunch of
asked
people.
the
There
both
is a
sides
list.
to give
Each
3
judge
attorneys
has
to
people that they know.
2 or 3
and they'll
realtors
pick
from
you.
each
So you
side,
gotta
and then
like
you pick them.
hobnob each of the
So,
judges.
Gotcha.
And I
I
don't
had
have
a
time
background.
for
I sold
hobnob.
them the house.
No, I don't.
But
I
there's a
don't.
judge evidently out there that you're on there.
Yes,
No,
but I
what
haven't seen
happened
the house
was
for 5 years. Isn't
they
that wild?
asked the
So,
both sides. to
anyway,
give
we got
three
that deal
attorneys,
closed
so they
yesterday.
put
Was really
2 or
happy.
3 realtors from each
Thank you so
side,
much,
and then
Roberta
you
and
pick the
Deidre,
one.
for
there you go.
for trusting us
I
to
had a
do the
background. I
deal.
sold them the house 5
And
years ago.
congrats to Mary, the
So,
owner of
I
the
knew what I
property.
was doing on that.
Familiarity.
Yeah,
Yes,
but I
a
haven't
really
seen the
good
house for
mortgage
5 years.
company
Is that
that,
wild? So
we use when we're
anyway,
not
we got
using
that
Mike.
deal
We've
closed
worked with them
yesterday.
a
Was
lot with
really
buyers
happy.
because they're very popular.
Thank you so much, Roberto and Deidre,
mortgage team.
for trusting
And
us
Mary
to
was
do the
really happy
deal.
with
Yeah,
the house, and I
congrats.
felt
And
like I had a
congrats
really
to
good
Mary, the
compliment
owner
for
of
her
the
because
property. She works
she
for a
works on
really
a
big
mortgage
mortgage
company that
company
does like
that
150
we
mortgages a
use
month.
when we're
It's
not using
huge,
Mike.
right?
We've
Which
worked
is a
with them a lot
tremendous
with buyers
amount, right?
because they're very
And she's in
popular.
charge of all that. She says one of the
Mortgage
things I liked
mortgage
about how
team.
you put your
Mary
property
was
on the
really
market
happy with the house, and I
was that
felt
you
like I had a
priced it
really good
correctly
compliment
compared to
for her.
everybody else. You didn't go super high.
She works on a
Don't make it
mortgage
this
company that
crazy
does like
number that
150 mortgages a
and then
month. This team,
let it sit
right?
there
Which
for
is a
90 days and
tremendous amount, right?
drop the price,
She's in
right?
charge of all that.
And
She
she
says
said
one
that's
of the
why I
things
went
I like
by
about how
Sean
you
to
put
yours
your
was the
property on the
price,
market
based on
was
the
that you
condition and
priced it
everything was
correctly
the
compared
price
to
of your
everybody
land.
else. You didn't go
So we
super
got that one
high,
done. So thank you
hoping
so
to get
much
this
for
crazy
trusting us
number
to do
that
that.
won't, and then let it
Also
sit there for
wanted to
90 days and
do
drop
a
the
little
price.
bit of a sad shout out.
She said that's why when I was
I hate
drawn
to
to yours
announce
was the
this for
price,
any of the old
based on the condition and everything was the
old
price of your
talk
unit.
real estate with
So we got
Rob and
that one
Jim
done. Thank you so much for
listeners.
trusting
If
us
they
to do
remember, the
that.
show used to be called Talk Real Estate with Rob and
Also
Jim.
wanted to do
We
a
had a person
little
from
bit of a sad shout out.
deadhelpers.com, and then eventually he went over to the law
I hate
office
to
of Paul
announce this
Crafter,
for any of the
Kevin
old
Marr. Kevin passed
old
a
Talk
week
Real
ago,
Estate with Rob and Jim
and I'm going
listeners,
to
if they remember the
more
show
of
used to
it,
be called Talk
and
Real
I'm
Estate
sure a
with
lot of
Rob and
people
Jim.
didn't show up.
We had a person from
Kevin was just a great guy.
deadhelpers.com, and then eventually he
It's
went over
so
to the law
funny.
office, Paul Crafter,
The thing I
Kevin
always
Marr.
remember about Kevin, no matter what
passed
was happening, he
a
always
week
had a
ago.
joke.
Yeah.
I used to
And
say on
I'm
the show
gonna be
that he
going
reminded
to
me of Chevy Chase,
memorial
like a young
service for him,
Chevy
and I'm
Chase,
sure
not
a
the
lot of
cranky
people are
old
gonna
guy
show
now,
up.
right? But the young
Kevin
Chevy
was
Chase
just a great
felt like
guy.
his
He was.
He was
the way
so
he looked
funny.
at life was just a really funny.
The thing I
he had a
always
funny
remember about Kevin, no
outlook
matter
on
what was
life.
happening, he
He
always had a
really
joke.
expressed it in a
I
funny
used to
way.
say on the
And
show that he
he
reminded me
was
of Chevy
always
Chase, like a young Chevy Chase, not the cranky old guy now, right? But the young Chevy Chase, about like his the way he looked at life was just a really
It's
funny
very sad. It's very sad.
outlook on
Yeah,
life.
he's 4 years
He really
younger than me.
expressed it
No,
in a
he
funny
was
way.
at
Yeah,
the gym.
he was always
Yeah, so he works out.
great to
Yeah,
be around.
yeah.
It didn't matter what setting. He
But
was
he was
always
at the
an
gym.
absolute
It's
wonderful
just
addition
very,
to
very
anything.
sad. And
That's very sad
It's
news.
and
very
the
sad.
thing is,
So
what I
he's
liked
like
about
passing.
Kevin
Yeah,
was that
he's
he was
4
like
years
our
younger
king,
than me.
and
No,
the
and
fact that he
was
really
at the
cared
gym.
about people, and it was
man.
all
Yeah,
about
so he
service.
works out.
I
Yeah,
get too many
And it
details.
was never about how much money
but he
can I
was
make
at the
today. It was
gym,
all
and
how can I help
it was
people.
very, very
Um,
sad. And
I remember at one point he got in
And the
trouble
thing
with
is
one
that
of
what
the
I loved
companies
about
he worked
Kevin
for
was that
because
he was like our team and the fact
they
that he
offered
really cared
services
about people, and it was all about service to
purchase
people.
like services.
And it was never
And he
about
would
how
sit
much
there
money
at the
can you make
company
today.
and
It was
say,
all how
"You
can I
don't
help
have
people.
to, you don't have to pay to do this.
I
You can do
remember
this
at one point he
it's
got in trouble with one of the companies he
which
worked
is a
for
free
because
credit repair agency and help you get
for
um,
services to
government grants and things like
purchase
that.
like
It's like
services,
a
and
nonprofit
he
group
would
that
sit
helps
there
with
at the
government
company and
stuff.
say, you don't have to pay to do this. You could do this for free because he worked for DebtHelpers.com, which
Right.
is a free
Yeah.
credit repair agency and help you get government grants and things like that. It's like a nonprofit group that helps you with
Yeah, it's
government
really
stuff.
sad.
He
So
actually
I'm gonna be
got
going
me
over
through
there
some
today
classes I needed to
to be
attend
with
when I
his
was
friends
doing
and
my
family.
my down payment assistance
I
program.
talked to
So
his
then
mom.
I actually ended up with I did a lot through Kevin and his group.
Yeah.
That's man, that's terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
it's really, really sad.
too
So I'm
soon,
gonna be
too
going over
short.
there today
But
to be with
I'm
his
sure
friends
Kevin's smiling wherever he is. He's smiling and laughing and probably
his mom
saying,
a couple days ago.
quit
She's in
moping
shock,
around.
but,
I'm
Losing a
fine."
child's the most unnatural thing ever.
So
yeah,
anyway,
That's
God
yeah.
bless Kevin.
So
And
too
just a very
soon, too
sad day
short.
on that.
yeah.
But
Yeah,
I'm sure
thank you.
Kevin's smiling wherever he is. He's smiling and laughing and
Oh
probably
yeah,
saying,
shout
"Quit
out to Jared. He
moping
took me on the
around.
boat yesterday. We
I'm
went
fine."
fishing.
Yeah,
Jared, where does he go?
So anyway,
We
God
caught
bless him.
mahi
Nice.
And
and
just
shrimp
very sad day
and
on that.
lobster
Shrimp.
and lobster roll
Yeah, thank you.
and margaritas.
Oh yeah,
We
shout
caught
out
it
to
all.
Jared.
Yeah,
Took
it was
him on the boat
pretty. If you
yesterday. We
looked
went
outside
fishing.
the
Nice. Catching
store,
anything? Was it
Jared
fishing or
was there,
catching?
and
Well,
he just wanted
we
to go
caught
fishing around. I
mahi
was like, "Sure,
Nice.
Jared,
and
I'll go
shrimp
fishing with you."
and
So I'm
lobster
driving up to
shrimp
his
and
house
lobster
to
roll
the dock to go fishing.
and
Pouring
margaritas.
out like crazy. And I'm like,
We caught it
"Are
all.
we really
Yeah,
going fishing
it was
today?
pretty. If you
Tonight?"
looked
And
outside, the
we got
storm
there,
was
and he
pretty
was
bad
pouring out.
yesterday,
He was sopping
and he
wet,
just
getting
wanted to go
gear
fishing. My
ready.
mom was like, "Sure,
I
Jared,
go, I
I'll
guess
go
you're still
fishing with you."
fishing. So we
So I'm
went out.
driving up to his
And then
house,
when he goes,
to
"I think
the
we should
dock
look
to
at
go
the
fishing,
radar."
and it's pouring out like
And
crazy
then
and
it was just
lightning.
like
I'm like,
all around us
"Are we
everywhere. And he
really
goes, "I
going
don't think
fishing
we're going
today?"
fishing. So we
Tonight,
ended up
and
going to a
we got
restaurant.
there, and he was pouring out.
Got
He was
mahi
sopping
and
wet,
shrimp and
gear
margaritas.
ready.
So
Sounds
And
good.
I guess we're still
it
fishing.
was a good
So we
day.
went
Yeah,
out,
not a bad
and
day.
then when
Not
he
a
goes,
bad day.
"I think we should look
Yeah,
at the radar." And then it was just like
So that
all
was
around
pretty
us
cool.
everywhere. And he goes, "I
And
don't think we're going fishing." So we
we've
ended
got a
up
lot to
going
talk
to the
about
restaurant.
today. Good morning, Francis. Thanks
mahi
for
and
letting me know
shrimp
that
and
the show
margaritas.
is working.
That sounds good.
The audio
Yeah,
is
that
going
sounds
It was a
good.
good
and
day.
music
Yeah,
going
that's
Not
good,
a bad
you know.
day. Not a bad day.
Tight lines. Tight
Yeah.
lines.
Got a lot to talk about today.
Exactly. So that was pretty
Yeah,
cool.
our stream looks
And,
like it's on.
we got a lot to talk about today. Good morning, Francis. Thanks for letting me know that the show is working. If the audio is going good, if it isn't going good, let me know.
And of course,
Um,
a live stream on a
we
Saturday.
got a
when
lot
it's
to talk about
cooperating.
today.
You talking about our stream? Everything's awesome.
Yeah, our
Oh,
stream
Florida
looks
Talk-
like it's on.
Florida Talk Real Estate on Facebook. You can join the stream if you're interested, and of course on YouTube as well. Florida Talk Real Estate LLC, home of a ton of informational chunk videos, and of course a live stream on a Saturday when it's cooperating, and evidently it is currently. Always remember too, Florida Talk Real Estate is a .com, your one-stop real estate shop.
What I want to go over
FloridaTalkRealEstate.com.
today is I want to
So
talk
use it, love it, share it. Buying a home, selling a home,
insurance
stuck with
claims
a home.
and
You don't know what to
filing
do. If you
insurance
need a
claims. I'm
professional
not
in the
talking
world
about
of real
filing
estate,
insurance claim or
we got
anything.
them
It's
just
just
for
like
you.
you had some damage to your house,
That's
and now
Florida
you
Talk
got to
Real
do
Estate.
something about it. And is
Thank
it
you,
time to
Johnny.
call the insurance
I
agent?
want what I want to go over
file the
today
claim or
is
not?
I
And I
want to
thought
talk a
Ross
little
would
bit
give us a
about
lot of really good
insurance
tips.
claims and
Ross
filing
wasn't so
insurance
sure.
claims.
We were
I'm not
talking
talking about
yesterday, and I
filing
gave him an
insurance claim or
example, and he
anything.
goes,
It's just
"Well,
that
that
you had some
example."
damage to your house.
The other
And
person
now you
would
got
be
to do
I go,
something
"See,
about
that's
it.
what I want to talk
And
about
is it
today."
time
So
to call the
we're going
insurance
to talk
agent
about
or
that.
not
I think it's
and
important
file
that
the claim or
people
not? And I
understand
thought
how to
Ross
file
would give us
claims
a
and
lot of really
understand
good
what
tips.
happens. I had a
Ross
friend
wasn't so
recently
sure.
that
We were talking
filed a
yesterday, and I
claim,
gave him an
didn't
example,
like
and he goes,
the
"Well, that
amount that they
example."
got,
The other person would be. I go,
asked
"See,
for
that's
more
what I'm
money,
today."
and
So
then
we're going to talk
the
about
state of
that. I
Florida
think it's
filed a
important that
lawsuit,
people understand how to file claims, understand what
and
happens. I
turned it
had a
into a
friend
lawsuit.
recently that
And under the new
filed a
laws, you're
claim,
allowed to do that,
didn't like
where
the amount that they
even though
got,
you're going to mediation, it's still considered a lawsuit or
asked for
something.
more money,
It's very
and
confusing to me.
then
And
the state of Florida filed a lawsuit,
why that's important is that the
and
owner
turned it into a
sometimes has to
lawsuit.
pay the
And
legal
under the new
fees
laws, they're allowed to
front
do
end
that,
to get
where
that
they don't, even though you're going to
So,
mediation,
we're not going to get into
a
that today.
lawsuit or
Today's
something.
more basic.
It's
Hey,
very
something
confusing to
happened
me.
in my house.
And
How do I
why
file a
that's
claim? Should
important
I
is
file a
that
claim? That kind of thing. So we're going to
the
talk a little bit
owner
about that.
sometimes has
We
to
didn't
pay
really
the
get into
legal
the
fees.
market report report last
now,
week,
which
so
you
we're gonna
didn't
get
have
into
to do
that.
before.
Yeah,
So,
we did,
but we're not going to
add
get into
that,
that
so
today.
we're gonna talk
Today's
about
more
the
basic.
market
Hey,
report.
something happened in my house.
We also
You know,
gonna talk
how
about
do I file
Florida
claims? Should I
man.
file
We are
claim?
just
That kind of
trying
thing.
to
Gotcha.
We're going to talk a little bit about that.
totally
We didn't really get
arrange
into the market
conceptually
report
what
last week.
homeownership
We're
is
going to
in
get into
Florida.
that.
We didn't at all.
But
Is
yeah,
it a
we
bad
did,
thing
even though
or
I had it in
a
the
good
headlines. We're
thing?
going to
I
talk
don't
about
know
the
what
Florida
kind of
market
thing it
report.
is, but before
We
they were
also
talking
going
about
to
trying
talk
to end
about
property insurance.
Florida, man. They are just trying to
Property
like
taxes, yeah, sorry, property
totally
insurance. That would be really
rearrange
but
conceptions.
they're trying to end property. Yeah,
like, you know what? We're gonna
Bad
give
thing
up
or
insurance.
we just don't. We don't. You don't need insurance. Take it out.
But before they were talking about trying to end property insurance.
Property insurance, property taxes,
Property taxes. Yeah, sorry,
right?
property insurance. That would be
So
really.
they've been talking about trying to
They're
figure
trying
out
to.
how to end.
How about the governor's like, you know what? We're gonna give up
I don't think
insurance.
that's going to happen, but we're looking at other states
Take it out.
going a little farther than Florida and haven't
All
gotten
right,
it
sir.
Property
to the
insurance,
result that
property
they wanted.
taxes.
But now they're talking about there's
So they've been talking
Miami
about trying to
state
figure out how to
legislator
end
that's
property
talking
taxes
about
for
ending
homeowners. Right?
HOAs.
I don't think that's going to be happening, but they're looking. And other states have gone a
So
little
what I
farther
did was I
than
did a
Florida and haven't
little
gotten
background check
to the result that
last
they
night when I
wanted.
read this
But
stuff.
now they're
because
talking about
I
there's
saw it on
a
YouTube
Miami
that some
state
people were saying
legislator
they're gonna
that's
end
talking
HOAs in
about
Florida. I'm like, that's
ending
impossible.
HOAs.
That's not gonna happen.
Yeah, I've read those headlines are popping up in the last handful of days.
So what I did
There
was
is
I did a little background check
Well,
last
one of
night
the
when I
things I
read this
found
stuff.
out is I did a
I saw
background
it
check
on
to find out where
YouTube.
this guy
That some
lives
people were
because I
saying
wanted
we're
to
gonna
know
end
if he lives in an
HOAs.
HOA. I'm going to tell you later. I'm going to
Well, I
tell you
hope it
later.
has some substance because every time
I
I've
feel
clicked,
like
there's a
he
whole lot of
could.
nothing
I was like,
in the article.
this
There
guy
is
really hates HOAs. I think he's having a
Well,
problem
one of
with
the
his
things I
HOA.
found out is I did a background check to find out where
This
this
guy
guy
hates
lives.
his HOA.
If you want to
Exactly.
know if he lived in an
Like,
HOA,
really,
I'm going to tell you later. I'm going to tell you later.
This is
And,
very self-serving.
I
We're
feel
also
like
going to be
he's
talking about
really.
some
sure.
I was like,
really
is this guy
serious thing
really
that's
hates
happening right
HOAs?
now,
I
and it's
think he's having
unusual.
a problem with
Yeah.
this
Oh,
HOA.
yeah. That's the first thing I
More
thought. I'm like,
deals
oh,
are
this
falling
guy
apart.
This guy
hates
hates his
HOA.
HOA.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Won a contract on a
I
house.
looked it
and
up
it does
yesterday.
not
I'll tell you
close.
about that a little bit later. And
that's been
we're also going to be talking about because this is a really serious thing that's happening right now.
National
And
thing.
it's
It's a national
unusual.
thing, but it,
It's newsy.
I just
More
every time
deals
that
are
we're
falling
going into
apart than ever
countering now,
before.
when
Like you
you
go
have
into
a buyer and
contract
seller
for a
and you're
house, it
countering,
does not close.
hey, I know
Another
we
like
agreed to
really
buy the
prevalent
house at
headline
this
that's
price,
been
but now
popping
I wanna
around
buy
is
it at this
more
price
and
because
more,
we
and it's a
or whatever.
national thing.
It's a national thing. It's a national thing. But
Negotiated,
I
yeah,
just
right.
every time
But
that
what's
we're going into
surprising is
countering
now
now,
I
when you have a
am
buyer and
always
seller,
very
and you're
delicate
countering.
about
Hey,
those
I know we agreed we're going to
negotiations
buy the
because
house at this price, but now I want to buy it
people
at this
just
price
lose
for
their
the
religion
repairs or
today,
whatever.
When
right?
you
And
say
they'll just say,
countering,
you know
it's
what?
another
I don't want to
way
even
to say
sell the
Negotiation,
property,
negotiate,
right?
yeah,
Right?
right.
Those,
Yeah.
But
those
what's
kind of things.
surprising is
So you
now
have to be really
I'm always
careful
very delicate about those
if you want the deal to
negotiations,
stay
right?
together. You got to be really
People
careful
just
of that.
lose their religion today, right? And they just say, you know what? I don't want to even sell the property to you, right? It turns into those kind of things. So you have to be really careful.
There's going to be some point where you're like,
if you want the deal to stay together,
Yes.
you got to be really careful.
Everybody's got that. Yeah.
I'm not surprised by that. I have been noticing an alarming amount of people that find it. And not to say that
like little
when you're selling your home, there's going to be some point where you're like, all right, that's my line in the sand.
Yeah.
I mean, I get that.
Everybody
in every
yeah.
real
Yeah,
transaction.
that's your line in the
But I
sand.
feel like that's the hill you're going to die on. It's really starting to get
less for humanity.
more.
Yeah, people have less patience than
There's
they've
so
had in
many
a
folks,
long
and
time. I
it
agree
doesn't
with
matter
that.
what
for sure.
situation. You're like, wow, you really
And,
dug in on
So
that.
we're going to get into all
All
that.
right. I mean, I teach their own,
Damn,
but
that's
if
your
you
line in
Here
this.
with me
it's
though,
like,
because of my
it's
computer
the tolerance
problem,
level
my show
getting
prep
less and
has
less
now
for
been lost.
humanity.
And
I don't know
gotta
what
bring it
Yeah,
back.
people have less
Give me a
patience
second.
than they've had in a long time.
For
I
sure.
agree with that for sure.
Well, it knows where it is,
And,
but Jim does.
so we're
If
gonna
Jim
get
doesn't
into
know
all
where it
that.
is, it's lost.
If you
Okay,
just
Jim
bear with
doesn't
me
know
though,
anything.
because of my computer problems,
Oh, I
all
guess
my
that
show
while I'm
prep
doing this, let me
is
do
now
another
been
shout
lost.
out.
I gotta bring it
and of
back.
course,
Just
lost.
give me a second.
It knows where it is.
Well, it knows where it is, but Jim does. If Jim doesn't know where it is, it's lost. Okay,
all
if
the
Jim
show
doesn't
prep I
know where it
did
it
is
is.
now gone.
Oh, I guess while I'm doing
that's
this, let me
pretty
do another
amazing.
shout out.
When I shut off the
this
computer
now.
to change everything around.
Believe this? What is
Let
on
me
today?
go here. Okay, so
cannot
let me
believe
do
this.
another shout
What
out.
happened?
I'm sorry while I'm doing this at the same time. Shout out
All
to
the show
Brian. I
prep I
didn't say
is
the shout
now
out.
gone.
Brian was a
that's
guy
hit
that
the
sold
delete
his
button?
house in Royal Palm Beach with
When I
us
shut off
about
the
a
computer
month
to
ago.
change everything around.
And we went up to
Let
Dunellen
me go
last
here.
week.
Okay, so let me do
Zero
another
power.
shout out. I'm sorry
And
while
we
I'm doing
got
this.
him into
Same time.
contract on a
Shout
new
out to Brian.
construction
I
home.
can't believe I didn't say
He
the
didn't
shout
really,
out.
here's a perfect
Brian
example.
was the guy that sold his
The
house
house
in
was
rural Palm
listed
Beach with
for,
us
I'm going to give real
a month
numbers on
ago.
this because we didn't buy
And
it, right?
we
The
went up
house
to
was listed for
Dunellen
$396.
last
It
week,
was a
which is
4-bedroom,
near
2-bath home
Ocala.
on an acre
We
up in
got him into
Dunellen.
contract on a new
So that's not
construction
too bad.
home.
Brand new
didn't really-
construction.
here's the
Never lived
perfect
in, right?
example.
396
The house
with
was
an acre,
listed
right?
for, I'm going to give real numbers on this.
No, one
The house
offs,
was listed
right?
at
So this was a
396.
small
There's a
developer.
4-bedroom,
We had no
2-bath home
bank behind
on an
us,
acre up in Dunellen.
stuff like that.
So that's not too bad.
So
Brand
the
new construction.
And the
never
house
lived
has
in.
been
How
on the
much?
market for
396
right? It's
with
been on
an
the
acre.
market
Was
for
it like in
2012.
development or
No, one-offs,
It was
right?
put on
So
the
this
market
was
in
the small
2024.
developer, so we had no
9
bank
months old.
behind him to like
And he
offer
already had a
discounts
couple
and
of
stuff
price
like
drops,
that.
and the house
So,
was
and
really
that-
nice.
discounted?
And the
Like it.
house has been on the
And we
market
went
for a year, right?
and we
It's been on
structured
the
the
market
deal.
for
We're asking
well, maybe
basically
not a full
for
year,
a
but
5% price
it was
drop,
put on the
right?
market in
It's
2024.
what the going
but it was
rate
like
is
9
out
months
there for
old.
the average home out
And he
there.
already
They're
had a
selling
couple of
about
price
5%
drops, and
below.
the house was really nice.
Brian was willing to come,
And we went back.
was willing to get off of
We
that number, but
structured
that
the
was the
deal
starting
where
number
we
to
were
negotiate
asking
with, and he would come
basically
up if he had
for a
to.
5%
But
price
he
drop,
wasn't going to come up
right?
to full.
Which is what the
Right.
going rate is
He
out
would
there
just
for the
buy
average home
full
out there.
asking
They're
price
selling
with
for
no
about
seller
5% below.
concession, so that closing
Brian was
costs or
willing
down
to
payments
come,
or anything. He
was
wasn't
willing to get
interested.
off of that number, but that
We
was the
countered.
starting number to
They
negotiate
countered
with.
back and they
He would
gave
come
us
up
less
if he
than
had to,
1%
but he wasn't going to come up to full,
for the
right? Like, if he was just
for
going to buy
seller
full,
concession.
asking
So
price
what
was
seller
low,
concession
seller
means,
concession, so I'd pay
hey,
closing
Mr.
costs and
Seller,
down
I'm going to
payment
give you
and everything. He wasn't
396,000
interested.
for your house, and I'm
We
going to give you
countered.
back
They
4,000
countered
at
back and they
closing.
gave us less than
The seller's
1%
going to give me back 4,000 at closing
for
to
the
help pay for down payment,
for
closing
seller
costs,
concession.
prepaid, stuff
So
like
what
that.
seller concessions means
1%
is,
isn't very
hey,
much.
Mr.
Then
Seller,
we
I'm going to
found
give
out
you
because when the tax
396,000
bill
for your
came, when
house.
the
I'm
house
going to
was
give
put
you back
online,
4,000 at closing.
when Brian gets the
seller's
tax
gonna
bill
give me
in
back 4,000
November,
at closing to help pay for down payment, closing
the
costs,
tax
prepaid,
bill
stuff
was
like
going to
that.
be like
1% isn't very
$5,000.
much. Then
But
we
right
found out
now, the
because
tax
when
bill is
the
like
tax bill came, when
$800
the
for the
house was
property
put
tax bill.
online,
So
when
then
Brian
what
gets
happened,
the
right, because
tax bill in
Jimmy went through
November,
that. Please.
the tax bill
Right,
was
just
going
the
to be
land,
like
right? Not developed. But the
$5,000.
problem with this one was, and
Right
this is
now,
a
the
weird
tax
one,
bill
because
is
it
like
was
$800
sealed right at
property
the
tax.
edge of when last year's
Yeah,
tax
makes
bill
sense.
was
And what
quick.
happened, right? Because
Whatever.
Jimmy went through that.
Yeah,
How you do prorations when you close, you have to do prorations.
Right, just the
tax
land, right? Not
prorations
development.
means that the
The
seller is
problem with
giving the
this one
buyer
was,
some
and this
money
was a
for
weird one because
future
it was
taxes, right?
sealed right
So
at the
they
edge
were
of
only going to
when last
budget it
year's
on the
tax bill was
$800 tax bill.
or whatever.
He was going to be getting a $5,000
How you do
tax bill in
prorations when you
November.
close, you have
So
to
he
do
was like, I
prorations
want
for
to
taxes.
get the
Proration
proration as
that
if the
the
tax
seller is
bill is
giving the buyer some money
$5,000 because
for
that's what I'm going to pay
future
in
taxes,
November.
right?
And the guy said
So
no.
they were only going to budget it
And
on
we
an
were kind of
$800 tax
surprised.
bill.
And they
But
wouldn't
he
let
was
us talk.
getting a $5,000
The agent
tax
wouldn't
bill
let
in
us talk
November.
to
So he was like,
buyer,
I want
the
to get the
seller. We
proration
wanted to
as
get
if
everybody on
the
the phone
tax
and
bill
try to
is
work it out.
$5,000
We
because
wanted
that's
our
what
mortgage
it's in
broker talking to
November,
the
right?
title
And the
company
guy
with the
said
buyer,
no.
with the seller, and
And
the
we
agent,
were
of
kind of
course, right?
surprised. And they wouldn't
The
let us
agent said, no,
talk.
I'm not doing that.
The agent wouldn't let
And
us
we
talk
said,
to
okay. And then Brian goes,
buyer,
let's look at other
the
houses.
seller. We wanted to
And
get
we went
everybody
and
on the phone and
looked
try
at
to
all
work
other
it out.
houses. Brian
We
found
wanted
one
our
we loved.
mortgage broker talking to the
was
title company with the with the
15%
seller
below that
and the
other
agent,
house.
of course, right?
And he grabbed it.
And
And
the
he
agent
took
said, no, I'm not doing
the
that.
other one. We never paid an
And we
inspection
said,
or a tax
okay.
bill or
And then
anything.
Brian
but
goes, let's look
we
at
had
other houses.
time. So
And
we
we went
went
and
and
looked
found
at
the
a
other house,
couple other
negotiated,
houses,
and
find
canceled
someone
on
we
the other
love.
one. So
It was
he's in a contract for a house right now. I'm
15%
really excited
below
for him.
that other
3-bedroom,
house.
2-bath. He just had the
And he grabbed it.
inspection on
And
Thursday.
he canceled
Everything
the
went
other
out
one. We
perfect.
never paid an inspection or escrow or
He
anything.
already has
We had
plans of
time.
putting
So we
an
went and
extra
found the other
building on
house,
it because it's an
negotiated, and
acre
then
piece of
canceled on
land.
the other one.
So he wants an
So
extra
he's in
building,
a
another
contract
building
for a
on
house
there,
right
and he
now. I'm
wants
really
to
excited
That
for
is
him.
exciting.
3-bedroom,
He already
2-bath.
had,
Just had the
during the
inspection
inspection,
on
he already had the
Thursday.
contractors
Everything
out
went
there,
out perfect.
like the metal building, find out where it was going to go and
He
cost,
already has plans of putting
cost
an
effectiveness and
extra
all that
building
stuff.
on
It was
because it's
pretty
an
cool.
acre piece of land.
So I'm really
So
happy
he
for
wants an
Brian.
extra
Thank you so
building,
much.
metal building on there, and he wants
Sell,
another thing
knocking
over
on
there.
wood here.
And he already had during the
purchase
inspection,
was
he already
so
had the
much easier
contractors
than
out
selling
there,
his house.
like for the
It
metal
was a
building, find out
completely
where it
night
was
and day
going to go and
experience.
cost,
Selling his house was hell.
cost
In fact, back when
and
we
all that
closed, he
stuff.
looked
It
at
was
me and
pretty
he goes,
cool.
That is
"Jim,"
cool.
So I'm really happy for
he
Brian.
said
Thank
something
you
to
so
the
much.
effect, I don't want to be too
The
dramatic,
sell,
but he said, "Jim,
knocking on wood here.
you never gave up on me."
The
He goes, "You
purchase
always thought you
so
were going
much
to do it."
easier
That's
than
how bad
selling.
it was to sell that
It was
house.
like completely
You know, it's bad when the seller's saying,
selling this
"Jim,
house to sell.
thank you so much. You
Back when
never
we
gave up
closed,
on
he
this."
looked at me and he goes, "Jim, He
Like,
says,
you
"No,
ain't have it.
I don't want to."
Yeah, that's the real part. That's the
He
real
never
part.
gave up
And
on
that's
me
what I said to
because
him.
you
I said,
always
well,
thought
thank
you
you
were
for
going to do it.
trusting
That's
me.
how bad it was to sell that house.
Journey we went on
You know, it's
together.
bad when the
So
sellers
normally,
say,
if
"Jim,
somebody was
thank
buying
you
in
so much.
Ocala, I
You
would
never gave
normally
up
just
on
have
this."
an agent out there and I would place them with an
You're
agent
like,
out
thank
Yeah,
you.
but
Thank you
Ocala.
for never giving
But
up.
the
yeah,
buyer
that's
was like,
the real
yeah,
part.
hanging in
That's the real
together.
part. And that's what I said to him. I
So,
said, "Well, thank you for
I was
trusting
more than happy. So
in,
congratulations,
the journey
Brian.
we went on
Of
together."
course.
So normally, if somebody was
Mhm.
buying in Ocala, I would normally just have an agent out there. Like I would place them with an agent up in Ocala. But Brian was like, "Jim, I want you to do this deal." So I was more than happy. So congratulations, Brian.
Curious on the house that you guys
Mhm.
didn't buy.
Mhm.
When does that? When what? Because you said it's very close to CO date and the taxes and everything. What date does they become like legally or whatever responsible for that portion? If it was 5,000,
Not the 800.
Right, like
You
they
mean
would-
when
they
does
have
the city
Brand new thing that never happened.
when,
to me
like, if you
before,
were
change
to-
the tax rate
I
to
wouldn't
So
even
yeah,
have
if
it,
I were like
except
at
the
what
mortgage
date,
broker.
if I were to
Brian's
buy
mortgage
that
broker,
house,
Brian's been this
our
mortgage broker for
whatever thing would be
20
based
years,
on
and
the
she gave me a
5,000,
great
not
deal.
Not the
800.
800. I don't know
But,
the answer to that. This was a
But
brand new
Carrie,
thing that never happened
Carrie
to me
Duffy is
before,
the name of
and
the
I
mortgage
wouldn't
broker.
even thought
She's the
about
one
it.
that came up with
Except
this
the
and goes,
mortgage
"Jim,
broker,
at
Brian's mortgage
closing, we might
broker,
have an issue, so let's deal
Brian's
with it
known
now."
this mortgage
I
broker
don't know
for
the timing of all of
20
it. It
years.
was very
He gave him a
unusual
great
to
deal.
me,
That's
and
why he
even
didn't go to Mike.
describing it
But,
to the sellers to explain
but
what was going on.
Carrie
I was like,
Bruffy
"Look,
is
I've
the
never
name of
had
the
this happen
mortgage
before,
broker.
but the
She's
mortgage
the one
broker
that
is
came
saying
up with
that
this. She goes,
the
"Jim,
taxes are
at
gonna be like
closing, we might have an
4,000
issue, so
short
let's deal with it
for
now." I
reconciliation.
don't know the timing of all of it. It was very
4,000
unusual
short.
to me, and
That's
even
gonna fall on
describing
us.
it
And if you're only
to
giving
sellers
us a
to explain what
$4,000
was going
credit,
on,
all
I
you're
was like,
doing
"Look,
is
I've
giving
never
us the
had
money
this
that
happen
you
before,
were
but the
gonna
mortgage
supposed to pay
broker's
for
saying that
taxes.
the
So the
tax
money is
is gonna
just
be
going
like
to something that
4,000
we should have
short
paid anyway.
for
I go, "So you're giving us nothing.
reconciliation. It's gonna be like
We're paying
4,000
full
short,
price for the
and that's
house."
gonna fall on us.
And,
And if you're only
they
giving
just
us a
didn't care.
$4,000
You know, the
credit,
funny part is
all
the
you're
guy,
doing
the
is
builder,
giving us
he was
the
a really
money that
nice guy.
you were supposed
I
to pay
thought
for
it was
taxes.
weird when we drove over to
So the
see the
money
house.
is just
The builder
going to
was there, and
something
he
that
was
we
in the
shouldn't have
garage,
paid
and he has
anyway.
all his
I go,
tools
"So you're
there.
giving us
And it's a
nothing.
brand new home.
We're
It's nobody's
paying
lived in
full
it,
price
but
for the
it
house."
looks like he
And,
turned that garage almost
they
into
just
like
didn't
a
seem
mini
to care.
office,
You know, the
and he
funny
looks
part
like
is
he
the
was
guy,
kinda
the
bored,
builder,
and
he
he's
was a
just
really
kinda,
nice
like,
guy. I thought it was
tinkering
weird
around
when
in
we drove over to see the house the builder was
garage
there,
because
and
he
he
has
was in the
nothing
garage,
else
and
to
he has
do
all
right
his
now.
tools
And
there,
I felt like
and it's a brand new
he
home,
almost,
and
like, didn't
nobody's
wanna
lived in
sell
it.
it, like,
Yeah,
it looks like a place for him to go. It's like his office.
Like a mini
He was
office.
I don't even think
He
he was
looked like he
upset
was
that the
kinda
deal
bored, and
fell
he's just
apart or
kinda,
anything.
like,
It's like, I think is that just like,
tinkering
"Okay, whatever."
around
Right,
in
and
the
that was okay because we
garage
weren't
because he has
upset with him
nothing
either. It
else
was
to
just
do
like,
right
"Hey,
now, and I
see
felt
better
like
value
he
somewhere else."
almost, like, didn't wanna sell it, like,
Yeah,
it
it's like,
was
"Yeah,
like
it's
a
my
place for him
office."
to go. It was like his office.
What am I gonna move
So
all this
I
stuff?
don't even think he was upset that the deal fell apart or anything. It's like, I think is that's just like, "Okay, whatever." Right, and that was okay because we weren't upset with him either. It's just like, "Hey, we see better value
Just the way
somewhere
it
else."
worked out. I wonder if that varies by municipality too, because I mean that's obviously property taxes for either
you know,
that
we're
city or county.
running out of
Yeah,
time
yeah.
in the year,
But I wasn't
right?
able to
So,
figure it
you know,
out,
and a
but
real
we
estate
did get it
transaction
resolved, and
doesn't close in 2 days,
thank
so,
God
you know,
for,
there's 30 to
Brian that
45
he's,
days that you've
moving
got
where
it
he
back
wants to
on.
be.
So at some point,
He retired.
pretty soon, I
He
would
wanted to
imagine, like, that's just
downsize.
gonna be a mandatory part of it.
So he's in the house.
Yeah,
It's almost the
yeah,
same square footage
but
as his old
I
house,
wasn't able to
but the costs
figure
are
it out,
all,
but we
a
did get
lot
it
lower.
resolved.
No HOA, no
Thank God
HOA
for,
fee, the
Brian that,
insurance. He was
moving
paying,
where he wants to be.
Yeah.
I think,
He retired,
$6,000 a year insurance
wanted to
in his old
downsize.
place, and now he's gonna be
So
paying
he's
like,
in the house. It's
2,000 a
almost the
year
same
for
square footage
insurance.
as his old house,
So,
but the costs are all, a lot lower. No
Downsizing the
HOA
costs.
no HOA
no, that was
fee,
also the
insurance.
interesting thing.
He was paying
That's why I asked Ross what I did last week. Is there a
$6,000 a
difference
year
between
insurance
the
in his
2020
old
house and
place.
the
Now he's gonna be
2025
paying,
house
like,
as far as
2,000 a
insurance?
year
Remember
for
I did that
insurance.
last week?
So,
That's why
Was the
I
house
was
that
buying
he's
still.
buying
And I
was
wanted to see if there was a
or was
difference
that
in the
a
no,
insurance
that was
that
also
if
the
he was,
interesting
trying
thing.
to downsize.
That's why I asked Russ what I did last week. Is there a difference between a
I
2020
don't
house
know
and a
yet. To be honest with
2025
you, he
house
just went
as
into
far as insurance?
contract,
Remember I
so
asked
we
you that
haven't
last
even
week?
done the
That's why
insurance
I it was
yet,
Brian
so
Steele.
I'm sure it'll be
And I
done,
wanted to see if
next
there was
week
a
for sure.
difference in the
And
insurance.
he's going out
trying to
there
downsize.
Did anybody
tomorrow
actually look at it
to
today?
see the house with his
Um,
girlfriend. Everything's going
I
great out
don't
there. So
know yet. To be
congratulations.
honest with you, he just went
Janelle,
into
uh,
contract.
very
We
old
haven't
Florida
even
out there.
done the
It
insurance
feels like
also
really
yet.
old
So
Florida
I'm
out
sure
there.
it'll be
I
coming
like it.
to you
You know,
next week.
if you don't have
And
to have,
It's coming.
he's going out
yeah, they
there
do. And if you don't
tomorrow
have to have
in the house with
the beach, right,
girlfriend,
right around the corner from you.
Congratulations.
Pretty nice out there.
Dunellan's
There's many that have
very
that.
old Florida out there.
Been to the
It
beach
feels
lately?
like really
Well,
old
Ross,
Florida
for
out
sure.
there.
One of them.
Yeah, Ross is
Yeah.
a beach guy.
Some
If you don't have to,
Camping in Mountain
Many
Lake there.
beaches.
yeah, they do. And if you don't have to
Yeah,
have the
it's really
beach right,
crazy.
right around the corner from
Okay,
you.
so
It's
let me
pretty
go
nice out
here.
there.
I don't think there's many that have to
because
have the
I
beach.
lost my
You been
show
to the beach
prep.
lately? Well, the Ross is like, I'm
Oh,
one of
is
them.
it? Oh,
Ross
great.
is pretty nice.
929. Perfect.
Yeah.
Let's take
Many
the break. That
beaches,
way I can still
there's
rebuild
like,
the show
where
prep.
is it?
We'll get
Show
back
prep.
in now.
Yeah,
We're gonna
yeah,
talk,
crazy.
should you?
Um,
I don't know yet. Okay, I don't know. Yeah, let's go right in. We'll go into follow
because
claim right away.
lost my show
Yeah,
prep.
mystery.
We'll
Mystery
see if
subject.
that-
Oh, is it? Oh, great. 929. Perfect.
Remember
Let's
that
take the
board
break. That
game
way I can
mystery
go
date?
rebuild the show
Girls
prep.
used to
We'll
use
get
Show
back
prep.
in what we got to talk. Should
Oh,
you?
that's
I
so
don't know
old.
yet.
It's
I
so
don't know.
old.
All right,
Yeah,
well,
let's
It was like
go
a
into-
little
we'll go
girl's
into follow
board game.
claim
We'll
right
do
away.
mystery. We'll
No,
do
my
mystery.
sister had
We'll
it.
choose the event.
My sister had it. No, I didn't have it.
You can't spend
Remember
the
that board game, Mystery Date? The girls used to, little girls used to play Mystery Date. Oh, that's so old. It's so old.
No,
It was like a little
I don't know.
girl
It's like,
board
remember
game.
those
Why were you playing?
old
No, my sister had it. My sister had it. No, I didn't
latex
have it.
clothes on them and
I
like
mean,
dress
the
them
prize
up and
date.
stuff and then peel it off
They
and
did,
like
like,
peel
with a little crown on.
big clothes. This is
When you
so
go
old.
pause it
This
for
is
5
like
minutes or
1960
something?
stuff.
No.
It's
What
way past
happened?
you
I don't
guys.
know. It's like,
Huh?
remember those old
Did a what?
board games where you can
What's a
put
shrinky dink?
like clothes on them and like dress them up and pull it off and, like, feel big clothes?
No,
This is so old. This is like
no more
1960.
male
You guys
genitalia
drank what we got the other day.
jokes.
Did you really?
Last week
You
when
did a
we were
what?
joking
I made a
around
shrinky dink.
penis,
What's the shrinky dink?
Wow, that's
I
cool.
know.
I'll show you in a break.
There was a person, Jackie, who listened to it, and she's like, "Stop it! Enough already."
No,
I didn't see it until afterwards. but
No
she kept
more
writing,
male
"Stop it,
genitalia.
stop it, enough already." So sorry,
joke.
Jackie.
Last
And
week
we were
when
talking about an elbow, right? Exactly.
Elbow, by the way.
I know. There was a person, Jackie, who listened to it. And she's like, "Stop it! Enough already!" I
There you
didn't
go,
see it
Jackie.
until afterwards. She kept writing, "Stop it! Stop it! Enough already!" So sorry, Jackie.
That-
And we were
kind
talking
of,
about an
not
elbow.
really, actually.
Right, exactly.
We're not doing the show for you, Jackie. You could turn it off. Just let it come back.
Well, there you go,
I
Jackie.
And you put in water? Oh no!
I didn't even know they still made shrinky dinks. That's
Oh, yeah.
amazing.
Yeah. That was,
It makes
that was
little.
popular when I was a kid.
It just
Oh,
makes
no,
like
never
little
heard of that. I
plastic
thought it was
trinket
the
things,
opposite.
right? I mean, that's
Water
basically what a
expanded.
shrinky dink is.
So
That's
it's like
right.
this little
Yeah.
kind of thin
Yeah.
piece of like kind of paper looking thing.
And you put it in water?
Color it.
Oh no!
Color it, and then you stick
Oh,
it in
never
the
heard of
oven, and it shrinks down into like almost like a little piece of glass.
Oh no! I never heard of that. I thought it was the opposite, where you put in water and it expanded.
Those are little dinosaurs. I remember
Yeah,
those.
those are
Yeah.
awesome. Those are still around too. Yeah, yeah. We can show you one of those during the break too.
These are pros.
We got a 4-minute reset. Sorry, Jackie. We'll be right back. Of course, you're always welcome to join us toll free at 877-927-6969. And if you're not comfortable on the radio, believe me, I get it. Go to FloridaTalkRealEstate.com. Access to the entire team. These are pros, experts in their field. And when you need a professional, anything that touches the world of real estate, I got one for you. FloridaTalkRealEstate.com on Facebook, on YouTube. Know it, use it, love it, share it. It's FloridaTalkRealEstate.com. We're back in 4 minutes. Thanks for being with us every Saturday. Florida Talk Real Estate right here on Real Radio.
What's a Real Radio podcast? It's Real Radio on demand. Find your favorite show at realradio921.com. Here's the latest with weather on Real Radio.
Tomorrow we are going to start to see those white puffy cumulus clouds turning into some darker, ominous
Shrinking still comes in that you have to
Yeah, I
First
never
line
knew
of
that.
showers
in that little
mid
box,
afternoon
pull
to
those
dinner
things out,
time
you
tonight.
incorporate it
Second
out.
line of storms comes
Yeah,
after
these
the
are now
sunset.
totally
Those are the
different.
ones
Yeah.
we'll be watching for the
This report is sponsored by Unbound.org. Right now, there are young people across the world facing a tough choice: continue their dream of education or drop out to help their family put food on the table. You can help change their future in a single moment. See how far your support can go at Unbound.org.
Hey, it's Board Money here. Host of Florida Talk Real Estate. They're tops when it comes to helping people buy and sell houses. But Florida Talk Real Estate is so much more than that. For 5 years, I've watched these guys help thousands of our listeners with any real estate need. They couldn't do it without their sponsors, who are experts in their fields. Check it out. Jim DePola, powered by Keller Williams Realty. Their team specializes in helping people sell their house for top dollar, and buyers get great deals on the purchase of their home. That's what they did for me and my family, and I couldn't be happier that I hired them for my real estate transaction. Mike Rao from the mortgage firm is one of our favorite guests on the show, and he is the mortgage guy. Whether you're looking for a refi or a mortgage to purchase a new home, Mike Rao will get you the answers you need. The mortgage firm is licensed to do loans in Florida, Alabama, Tennessee, and Georgia, and they have local offices that cover all of South Florida. So if you're thinking about a refi or a new mortgage, go to the mortgage guy, Mike Rao, and find out what he can do for you. The Mortgage Firm, Inc., NMLS 189233, Florida license MLD 78, equal housing lender. The law office of Paul A. Krasker has been specializing in real estate law for nearly 25 years and has the professional team you need. Upside down with your house, Paul's team can help you conduct short sales, loan modifications, even if you're behind on payments. They also help you with foreclosure defense and bankruptcy. They can even help you get a student loan modification and repair your credit to get the score you need. Paul's full-service team has helped thousands of our listeners, and they can help you too. Trident Title LLC is the largest privately owned title company in Florida. When you need a title company to complete a refi, home purchase, or sale, Trident Title has got you covered. Not only do they offer competitive pricing, Trident Title has attorneys on staff to make sure if you have bumps in the road declaring title, that you can get the job done. Beware, not all title companies in Florida have attorneys on staff. Trident Title does and complies with all the new federal regulations released last year. Ross Komarinetz, owner of Brightway Insurance, has been helping our listeners get great rates on homeowners insurance plans. Haven't checked your homeowners insurance policy in a while? This is a great way to help reduce your monthly mortgage payment. Ross can also help with renters and auto insurance. Ross is only a phone call away and can usually get the answers you need same day.
Call Ross today at 561-425-6228 or drop by his office at 873 Donald Ross Road in Juno Beach.
So now you know why I'm happy to be part of the Florida Talk Real Estate Show, the longest running real estate show in Florida. And all these sponsors are just a phone call or a click away. Just call 888-973-7828. That's 888-973-7828. Or go to floridatalkrealestate.com. That's floridatalkrealestate.com. And don't forget to use the most accurate search engine to find your new home or ask for a free home valuation because floridatalkrealestate.com has you covered. That's floridatalkrealestate.com.
This is Real Radio 92.1 and 101.7. Real talk for the Palm Beaches and the Treasure Coast.
I'll give it to you again, 877-927-6969. Toll free. We got plenty of time for you on this Saturday. 2 hours of infotainment is what we offer you.
Got a question for the show? Call us live at 1-877-927-6969.
Give it to you again, 877-927-6969. Toll free. We got plenty of time for you on this Saturday. 2 hours of infotainment is what we offer you. Room at 11.
Yes. Yes, the answer is yes, Ross.
Officially like college football.
Yeah. Speaking of which, guess what we got? 4 o'clock today. A little Florida Gators coverage. Starts at
They are very fast.
Does anybody care?
Yes. You didn't win. Yes, the answer is yes, Ross.
Sounds like
That's right. 3:30. Go Knowles.
See the colors on his shirt.
These are pretty sure
Those colors do run, by the way.
They do, but they're fast. But they're fast.
They are very fast.
You didn't win.
He's with Brightway Insurance.
You just didn't catch it. I don't know.
Johnny C, that's me. Timothy's our producer extraordinaire. What's up, my dude?
hello, and good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning. And Ross Komarinetz, he's the one over there talking trash about them Gator boys. He's with Brightway Insurance, Juno Beach. He does it in jest. It's lighthearted. It's fun. It's rivalry based is what it is.
That's right. You know, I'm a 47-year-old man and have no vested interest in these 18-year-old, 20-year-old kids.
That's right.
In whatever color jersey they're wearing.
Doesn't even matter, right?
Has no effect on my day.
Nope.
Food goes on the table no matter what.
Yep. You won't even be able to tell who wins or lose based on my my psyche or my mood.
And I have no idea who's even on this color team.
No clue. Don't ever. I really hardly follow.
Whatever this color is, I have no idea.
Yeah, what colors? I don't even know.
These are called garnet and gold.
Garnet and gold.
Yeah. That's right. Go Knowles, though.
Hey, good luck to your boys this season.
You too.
I hope everybody's healthy.
Yes, there
Most
we go.
importantly.
Yeah,
Yes.
except for late November.
Oh, you hate it. Of course, we are home of Florida football, so enjoy that. Get it all over your face and then some. Jimmy D over here, he actually roots for the Gators. You know why? Because he's a Gator.
I went to UF. That's
yes,
right.
he did. There's Jimmy D with the Florida Home Pros team, Keller Williams Innovations, Jim DePola. Go Gators.
I got to tell you that I so miss when Florida State was like the football state, right? Remember back in the 90s, it was FSU, Miami, and Gators, and it was like all day long.
It was mostly
we
FSU
were always
and Miami,
in the top 10.
and then Florida finally broke through. We finally got there.
We had we had like 3 in the top 10 always. It was almost like set it and forget it. They were always in the top 10. I think there were 3 in the top 5. Sometimes they were like in the top 5 together.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun. I like that.
That was
so much fun.
That was a
with
lot of fun.
time.
Now UCF is the main team.
I know. Isn't it wild? Isn't it wild?
Or watch USF rolled Boise the other night.
Yeah, I
mean,
saw that.
rolled. Gators got USF next weekend.
Today.
Yeah, that's Long Island today. Go
Yes.
Gators. USF next weekend, but I hardly pay attention.
Yeah, hardly.
Yeah, hardly. Hey, let's start off. Let's start off with the homeowners association
I
thing.
thought we were going to spin the wheel of topics.
Yeah, you want to do it that way?
All right. What are we going to land on?
Come on, make it something interesting.
And
Oh, it's the homeowners association.
insurance.
How many of those are on there? That feels rigged.
Yeah, it's like the roulette in Vegas. It has the 000s now or whatever, right?
Are those really popping up in Vegas?
They're on every strip has them now. And
Stop.
You can't get single zero.
Every property
Has
triple zeros now.
And you know how they do the 000? Here's the thing that drives you crazy. So you have the 0, you have the 00.
They put all 3 together, don't they now?
No, they kind of move them around, but they have a 0, a 000, and then a 00. You know what the 000 is? The logo of the casino. So they don't show you that it's 000. Right? Isn't it?
Way to do it.
Yeah. I do like Vegas. I used to go out twice a year and stuff. When I went out the last time and I was very sick. I cannot believe how, and I know everybody's talking about this on YouTube and everything, how expensive it is out there.
Yeah.
It's so friggin' expensive.
They're starting to get hammered. They're really starting to get hammered. Though.
11% down in traffic right now, which is unheard of.
It's huge.
They're down to 70-something% for room occupancy when they're normally like 85 to 88 right now. They're in the 70s, right? So just to go, I went downstairs when I was sick. When I was over there, I was at the Cosmo. I went downstairs to eat Dave's hot chicken.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, which I never had it before. I was sick. I figured I'd just eat something. I didn't want to cook, or couldn't cook, but you know what I mean. I didn't want to sit down, so I was just going to grab the food and bring it back to my place. So I had a Dave's hot chicken sandwich, a drink, and fries. How much?
$30
at the Cosmo.
Oh,
yeah, $27.
Yeah, it was close to $40.
Oh,
right, just for a sandwich, right? You go. It's like going to a fast food restaurant, and you know what? Dave's hot chicken is good, but
it's not that good.
No, it's still a fried chicken sandwich. It isn't. There isn't.
It's not $40 good.
I would love to see the price breakdown of each item.
Oh, I know what they cost them.
The margins that they have.
No, just like his total order was $40.
Oh yeah, right.
Like, well, how much was the drink?
Yeah.
A la carte.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, like the fries were like
soda.
$6 or something for fries or something like that. Just the fries and the drink, was $5 or $6 alone, and the sandwich was $20-something, right? So it was just crazy, right? And you're sitting there, and it's like, what value you're getting here, right? And then they're charging you for everything. And before, when I used to go to Vegas, because I haven't gone out in a long time, when you used to go out and do the valet thing, or if you went to go get a cab or something, you'd always tip the valet guy, right? $1 or $2 or something, right? Even though they're just standing there, open up the door and closing the door. Well, I was just used to doing that. So when I was at Vegas last time, I was doing that tipping, and I got so frustrated with the cost and everything. I was actually like, I don't know if I want to tip as much as I normally tip, and I'm not that kind of person.
You're not alone.
But
It's
it
happening a lot.
affected me. But the thing was, what is funny, I didn't tip twice, and I actually felt guilty about it, right? Because these guys got to make a living too. And then I noticed nobody was tipping, right? And when I tipped, and the way I noticed it, I gave the guy, I don't know, $2 or $3 or something. And the guy was like, "Thank you so much." Like it was like unheard of, like he never heard of the tip before or something like that. And then I realized nobody was tipping anymore. Why? Parking is not free anymore in Vegas. And valet is like it's Caesar's Palace. Valet is minimum $40. Right?
Still got
$40.
to tip your guy, though. I mean,
I know. It's crazy. Tips are going down really bad over there. And it's just like
tips are going down everywhere from what I'm reading. Yeah, I guess that's one of those things that people are eliminating to try to help offset some of the expenses in their life, I guess.
Well, that and everywhere you go, they look for a tip too. I mean, even you walk up to a counter, they're just handing you your order. They're asking for a tip.
Right.
Now, where that was just, a standard, just given your thing. That's, you're getting paid a regular salary.
Right.
Tip salaries are, people that don't make minimum wage.
Typically.
Typically, right? Back in the day. And hey, I tell you, you talk about expensive. Has anybody been to the new Universal Epic yet?
No.
I can't imagine what a burger goes for in that place.
Oh,
because even the regular Universal and those, I mean, I'd love going there and, and everything. I'm not trying to, bash them too much, but boy, just trying to get a little bit of food at one of those places. An amusement park anymore is ridiculous.
Well, I'll tell you, it's I'd rather overpay and be able to get it than have to walk around and try to find someplace open, because you can get both experiences at the amusement parks where you walk around going, nothing's open. How do you? I can't even get a slice of pizza. I can't find anything open to where you, or the opposite, which I would probably prefer, to spend a couple of extra bucks to at least have some options to go get some things. And I'm not.
You mean the restaurants in the park that aren't open?
Just man, I can't even tell you how many times we went to SeaWorld.
Really?
In particular. Yep. And you keep walking, you walking past food options because they're not open, they're not staffed. There's nobody there. Yeah.
No kidding.
I don't know. I guess it's a weird mix. Yeah, I'd rather overpay and not have to walk to the other side of the park to get in.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah. What about you, Ross? Would you rather overpay or walk?
I think if I would have seen that I was going to pay $40 for a chicken sandwich, I probably would have heel-toed it express somewhere else.
That's probably a good point. Yeah.
Just out of principle.
Brown bag.
Principalities
you can't charge me $40 for a chicken sandwich. And it's fast food chicken sandwich. It's not like this was a special restaurant chicken. This is the one that you could go down the street and pay $8 for.
Right. This chicken was hand-fed its whole life.
It's the same hot chicken that's on Okeechobee Boulevard, right? Or something, wherever it is.
Me and a buddy had a dinner. It was one of the few dinners that I went to because I was sick, and I went to one of Guy Fieri's places. And I never ate at Guy Fieri place before, and I know he's kind of a local boy now, because he owns, I think he owned in Lake Worth Beach, and now he lives in Manalapan or something. So he's down here. He has a couple restaurants. I've always been a big fan of diners, drive-ins, the radio, the TV show he's been on. But
one of many.
I got to tell you, though, I mean, I went out to dinner with this guy. We had 2 very small meals. We didn't have like desserts. We didn't even have drinks, like alcohol drinks or anything. And 2 people was over $200.
Oh,
right? No drink.
Gee, goodness.
Right. And all I had was some brisket. Right. It wasn't like this like big elaborate meal. I had like some barbecue brisket and like the side stuff. Right. Just the normal side stuff. It was like $200.
Huh. All la carte, huh?
Yeah. And it was 100. No, I don't think it was a la carte. It was just expensive. Right.
Wow. Very.
And yeah, it's $100 a person.
See, I'm in for that, even though that's, expensive.
But it wasn't
that versus the $40 chicken sandwich.
But the thing that bothered me, though, that bothered me about it, and like I said, I'm a Guy Fieri fan, so I'm not ragging on him, but I'm just being honest. It's like it was no bit better than the Indian Town barbecue place you can go on Indian Town Road by 95.
Nice.
The food was about the same, right? And you can get that food to 2 people. It's like $60.
Go to Bucky's.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Bucky's.
So-
Probably
Worth the
so,
trip.
man.
Worth the
Yeah.
trip.
I've heard Bucky's slays the brisket.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
They
I
do
do
better.
want to go back out there though for the Wizard of Oz on the Sphere.
Oh,
that
yeah.
looks freaking
Oh,
awesome
It
right
just
now.
it just started. My mom's going in a few months.
Oh yeah, that's right. She said she was going. I really want to go do that.
Something else that's
Well-
super expensive, but even, that's something I might
Yeah.
even drop a time on.
That's
if I
like
ever get out there.
$200 a ticket almost. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can see a bunch of video of, because it just started.
Mhm.
You can see a bunch of video on social media and whatnot. What I've noticed is, yes, it's going to be a really immersive, awesome experience. One of the
Yeah.
coolest ways to watch the Wizard of Oz is, if you like it, you're going to love it, as long as you can handle the motion sickness aspect and you can handle the heights. If like it's going to be physically demanding on you because of
It
the
is.
severe alone.
Yeah.
But I noticed that the capacity in there is very minimal, and it's probably price point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why. Yeah, because it cost them $2 billion to build that thing.
Well, you're spending like $150 to go watch a movie.
Right. Exactly.
I
That's
mean,
what you're doing.
That's what you're doing.
Yep.
You're watching
Yep.
a movie.
Yep.
Now it's in the Sphere, and it's
Yep.
not just the movie. They do a bunch to make it immersive, but that's a hard ask for a lot.
And
of
that
folks.
it isn't going to be the original movie. They changed it. They AI'd it and they cut it out. It's only 75 minutes long now. It is, it's shorter than the original movie, but the graphics, what I saw a couple of days ago, it looked pretty amazing.
Oh yeah. Well, and they again they take you there. There's you're it's immersive.
Yeah, for sure.
18,600 seats in the Sphere.
Yeah.
That's the capacity
according to Google. And they can with standing room you get up to 20. So.
Nice.
Since we've been talking about costs and expenses and stuff, let me just throw this out here so we can get over this part. A new inflation report came out. This is very important about whether the Fed's going to cut the rate or not. It looks like this report reinforces that the Fed will cut the rate in September. It's called the Personal Consumption Expenditures Price Index.
Yeah, this came out Thursday, right?
Yeah, it came out Thursday a couple of days ago. Now, here's the thing that I found interesting. In April, the inflation rate for this personal consumption expenditures, which basically is all the money that consumers spend for goods and services, but not
housing,
not
electricity, no
fuel, and not food.
Right.
And I
so
think
it's like everything else.
Yes, but I think taking food out is like to me, people are very price sensitive about food.
Food's where the inflationary aspect is really felt the most.
I agree with you, but the PCE doesn't consider that, and for whatever reason, the Fed prefers this over the Consumer Price Index, which does include food, right? But the PCE, this is what I'm wondering is, in April, the inflation rate year over year was 2.2%. Then in May, 2.4%. Now, this is coming directly from the U.S. Bureau of Labor and Statistics. Okay, so I'm getting this directly from the source, not an article about the source. So the Bureau of Labor Statistics says April we're at 2.2% inflation, May 2.4%, June 2.6%, and July 2.6%. And they're saying that we're flat.
Well, they're saying that's just tariff related.
Right. And but the thing is they're making it sound like we're flat, and we went from 2.2 to 2.6 in 3 months. And they're not ignoring that. If you looked at it on a chart, it wouldn't look flat.
Right.
Let's just put it that way. Now it's flat for month over month, right? From June to July, it stayed, and that's a good thing. That's a good thing. So right now I have to say, and I've been saying this, because people get so political about this economic stuff, and I know politics are involved, but really, if you just look at the numbers and try to have your politics, if you will, decide based on the numbers.
Let me interject real quick.
Mhm.
Let's talk numbers.
Yeah.
You see the GDP numbers for the second quarter?
It's like 3.3 or something.
So that right there
Yeah.
means you do nothing as the Fed.
Yeah,
When
because
you're-
that's a very strong
That's a
GDP.
strong
That's a
number.
nice GDP.
Yeah, so
Yep,
all the
it is.
numbers got to matter.
Yeah.
When that GDP number came out, and again, all of the devils in the details, you're like, oh, the GDP is supported by our spending.
Mhm.
exports actually went down. So when you extrapolate the actual facts of how the GDP went up from quarter to quarter, you're like, oh, it's not great. But if those numbers are real and we're going to stand on it, the Fed should do nothing.
Because you're worried about hyperinflation, right?
Well,
that's what you're worried about, the inflation,
there,
right?
Yeah.
And I understand where your concerns are about that, and I have very high concerns about it too. But right now, I don't see the statistics reflecting that we should be panicking about any of this stuff at this point. Like a big, I don't even think this quarter rate is going to make a. I think it's a nothing burger, right?
Well,
this quarter point
why
drop.
do it? Why do it? Then?
Well, I kind of agree with you on that, but
because if you do anything more than that, you are signaling to the investors that something's amiss.
Yeah.
So why do anything? Why is it just to appease those that are barking at it? Because again, if our GDP is good, our employment number is good, we're not adding jobs at the rate, but we're actually our work pool is shrinking through other means, other reasons. Our pool of workers, available workers, is shrinking daily. So to add all these jobs feels fruitless. And we talked about it last week. Companies aren't going to be spending money. Even if we lower rates, they're not going to be spending money to just add jobs for no reason.
For no reason, right.
Right, because they're making profit over profit over profit right now. GDP's up quarter over quarter. I don't know. It just, the numbers are weird. They don't almost connect in the right ways. So it feels like they should do nothing. But I don't know. I'm starting to get in on your train a little bit that they may nudge it a touch.
They're definitely doing it. I feel very confident. I will be stunned if they don't do a quarter point drop. And I'm not always listening to the media and agreeing with them. I usually zig when they're zagging on a lot of stuff. But I just don't. I think the quarter point drop is going to happen. Because you got to remember, back in November, they were planning. They were planning on Fed rate, but they were planning on. Did I say mortgage?
Nope. I'm just making sure those listeners are following
which
along.
is completely different.
They have nothing really to do with each other.
The plan was in November that they were going to continue to do the drops through the beginning of this year, and then we had the surprise tariff announcements, and then all bets were off, and they said, "Well, we want to see how the smoke clears." And really, the smoke hasn't cleared on any of that yet. I still think it's very, I'm going to use the same analogy, cloudy. I think it's a very cloudy market right now to understand really what's going on. I am so hyped out about, no pun intended, about stagflation, because I just don't want to see this country get into stagflation again. That's going to be a multi-year, really drag on the economy. It sucks for everybody. I'd almost rather have inflation without stagflation, right? Because at least everybody's employed, but everything costs a lot, as opposed to nobody's really working that much and everything costs a lot, right?
So, why do you have unemployment concerns, though?
Because of the last 3 months, we've only had like 35,000 a month jobs created.
Well, we don't need to be creating jobs at that kind of rate.
There's 50 is break even.
I went
50,000 a month is break even.
I went into Walgreens this morning.
You were the only one in there.
I was.
Yeah, you walk around looking for somebody.
There's no. I'm like
Walgreens or Walmart.
Walgreens.
Okay.
No employee to be seen. And I was like, dude, is this one of those things? You watch a lot of Datelines and Forensic Files, and I'm like, is this where like the dude's tied up in the somebody's tied up in the big? You know what I mean?
Yeah, like you're getting robbed or something.
Yeah. I mean, for like 5 minutes. And then finally I hear a door open and just kind of one person just is like,
was that the Indian town by the clock tower thing?
No.
Because that's how it was at the Walgreens over there. It's just like that.
Go to CVS.
That's every store. Yes. Like they just why would they hire anybody?
I went into Walgreens a couple of weeks ago, a month and a half ago or something, to get prescriptions on a Sunday. I went into walk-in clinic. They want to give me antibiotics or whatever. Walgreens is closed for pharmacy on Sundays. I'm like, what pharmacy closes on, isn't open 7 days a week? And this is at 10 o'clock on Sunday or 11 o'clock on Sunday morning. No pharmacy. And I'm like, well, when does it open up? I thought it was like open up at noon or something. Oh, no, we're not open on Sunday. I'm like, are you kidding me? Right? So this consumer price index stuff or inflation stuff, I'm really not seeing it go crazy yet. I'm not seeing and I don't know if it'll happen fast or not. We've never had this happen in probably our lifetimes for most adults.
But keep spending though. We need to, because we're the machine. We are the machine. We are the consumer that drives this beast.
And that has to slow down. And it has to slow down. We keep spending.
Yeah, we have to. We have to. We're the thing propping up our GDP. I mean, we are.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
70%, something like 70% of everything is based on our
consumption. Yeah. Please do not stop spending. We need.
Go to Vegas. Go pay $40 for the sandwich. Go pay it. Go do it right now.
I was just listening to something where they were talking about buy now, pay later.
Oh,
like anytime you go to check out, like on the internet, it's like, oh, spread it out. That like, and I guess that's like a segment that doesn't really get reported to, because I forget whatever the rule was. It's not like a banking thing or something.
Right.
And they said a lot of whatever Gen Z's, the youngest one or whatever, like they'll buy pizza
and pay it later
and split it up over 4 payments.
Yeah.
You know, and you're seeing like, so it's, they just keep spending. Everybody just spends.
So my first slap in the face with this was last year, where we go to Welcome to Rockville every year. It's a festival in Daytona. And it was the very first year, because they do layaway plans. You can give $1 and do a layaway plan, which is amazing, right? But it was the very first time they offered you can attend the show and pay for it after. Like go get your ticket and we'll worry about you paying it later. And in now those moments, and this is the biggest festival in the nation. So they don't need extra. There's greed driving it, right? But they're also like, for those that want to go and can't, let's make it so they can. Whether they can actually afford it or not, we'll let them decide that. But in that moment, I was like, wow, this is kind of scary. And if this starts growing, this could be the trend that might ruin some really irresponsible. You're just extending credit beyond a credit. And now pizza, it's becoming more and more prevalent and people are using it. And that's the real scary.
It's like having an instant credit card, whether you have credit or not.
Yeah. Right. Right. It's pretty crazy. Let's go ahead and take a break. On the flip side,
Can we do that with houses?
I know, right?
How about if I just move in and I'll start paying you in, I don't know, 6 months or so?
What we're going to do on the flip side, remember that I shouldn't say old phrase. Remember when realtors were running around? We even talked about it on this show. It's like you don't, you marry the house, you date the rate. The rate. Okay. Well, now there's backlash against that. So I thought it was funny that we should bring it out and talk about it. It's been all over the internet the last couple of days about the people that bought into date the rate, marry the house, how much financial trouble they are now.
Oh no.
So we're going to talk about that on the flip side.
And we got a lot more.
And then we'll be done with that whole economic stuff. Then we're going to slide in what happens if you need to file a claim on your house. This is going to be really good tips for anybody that ever gets in trouble, because it could save you a lot of potential headaches in the future by doing it the right way.
Yeah.
And how you think it should work, usually from what I learned talking to Ross over the years, it doesn't always work the way that you think logically it should work.
So that's the thing. Logic would lead us to just be like, oh, I can just pick up the phone.
Right, pick up the phone and find out.
Very important insight into an industry. Very important insight into an industry.
Yes, you're right.
And plenty of time to get into it. You're always welcome to join us toll free 877-927-6969. Of course, remember FloridaTalkRealEstate.com, your one-stop real estate shop. Know it, use it, love it, share it. We're on Facebook and YouTube. That's Florida Talk Real Estate on both. Soak it up. Hit the share button, consume the content. And of course, always remember FloridaTalkRealEstate.com. I say know it, use it, love it, share it, because you can change lives, including your very own, with the pros at FloridaTalkRealEstate.com. We're back in 4 minutes. Thanks for being with us every Saturday. Florida Talk Real Estate right here. It's Real Radio.
Download the app and then take us anywhere. Except maybe there. Get it from your app store. Search for iHeartRadio. Real Radio weather.
I'm CBS 12 meteorologist Charlotte Carl. We are going to start to see those white puffy cumulus clouds turning into some darker, ominous-looking cumulonimbus clouds later in the afternoon. First line of showers and storms mid-afternoon to dinner time tonight. Second line of storms comes after the sun sets. Those are the ones we'll be watching for those heavier downpours.
This report is sponsored by Lowe's. This Labor Day at Lowe's, get up to 40% off select major appliances, plus get next day delivery on hundreds of appliances. Valid on eligible in-stock orders through 9/10/25. Selection varies by location. Order by 4 p.m. subject to product and driver availability. Fees based on purchase. Exclusions apply. See Lowe's.com for more details.
Hey, it's your boy Johnny C here, host of Florida Talk Real Estate. They're tops when it comes to helping people buy and sell houses. But Florida Talk Real Estate is so much more than that. For 5 years, I've watched these guys help thousands of our listeners with any real estate need. They couldn't do it without their sponsors, who are experts in their fields. Check it out. Jim DePola, powered by Keller Williams Realty. Their team specializes in helping people sell their house for top dollar, and buyers get great deals on the purchase of their home. That's what they did for me and my family, and I couldn't be happier that I hired them for my real estate transaction. Mike Rao from the mortgage firm is one of our favorite guests on the show, and he is the mortgage guy. Whether you're looking for a refi or a mortgage to purchase a new home, Mike Rao will get you the answers you need. The mortgage firm is licensed to do loans in Florida, Alabama, Tennessee, and Georgia, and they have local offices that cover all of South Florida. So if you're thinking about a refi or a new mortgage, go to the mortgage guy, Mike Rao, and find out what he can do for you. The Mortgage Firm, Inc., NMLS 189233, Florida license MLD 78, equal housing lender. The law office of Paul A. Krasker has been specializing in real estate law for nearly 25 years and has the professional team you need. Upside down with your house, Paul's team can help you conduct short sales, loan modifications, even if you're behind on payments. They also help you with foreclosure defense and bankruptcy. They can even help you get a student loan modification and repair your credit to get the score you need. Paul's full-service team has helped thousands of our listeners, and they can help you too. Trident Title LLC is the largest privately owned title company in Florida. When you need a title company to complete a refi, home purchase, or sale, Trident Title has got you covered. Not only do they offer competitive pricing, Trident Title has attorneys on staff to make sure if you have bumps in the road declaring title that you can get the job done. Beware, not all title companies in Florida have attorneys on staff. Trident Title does and complies with all the new federal regulations released last year. Ross Komarinetz, owner of Brightway Insurance, has been helping our listeners get great rates on homeowners insurance plans. Haven't checked your homeowners insurance policy in a while? This is a great way to help reduce your monthly mortgage payment. Ross can also help with renters and auto insurance. Ross is only a phone call away and can usually get the answers you need same day.
Call Ross today at 561-425-6228 or drop by his office at 873 Donald Ross Road in Juno Beach.
So now you know why I'm happy to be part of the Florida Talk Real Estate Show, the longest running real estate show in Florida. And all these sponsors are just a phone call or a click away. Just call 888-973-7828. That's 888-973-7828. Or go to floridatalkrealestate.com. That's floridatalkrealestate.com. And don't forget to use the most accurate search engine to find your new home or ask for a free home valuation because floridatalkrealestate.com has you covered. That's floridatalkrealestate.com.
From the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios.
Have you been in an accident? Call Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys at 1-800-747-FREE.
That's 1-800-747-3733.
Real Radio 92.1 is WZZR West Palm Beach, an iHeartRadio station.
Make us the #1 preset on your car radio and on the free new and improved iHeartRadio app. Listen for all your music, radio, and podcasts. Free never sounded so good. This is Florida Talk Real Estate with Jim DePola and Johnny C. Got a question for the show? Call us live at 1-877-927-6969.
Yeah, you can do that. 877-927-6969. Toll free with a question, comment, concern in the world of real estate. If you want to dive into the conversation at hand, don't be shy. Jimothy will line you up there. I'm pretty sure he will. He's got somebody lined up.
Yes, matter of fact, we do. We have somebody lined up with a question about the topic we're going to get into. Right. So we're going to be, his timing couldn't have been better.
I love it. Timing is everything in life, I've heard. Mine's terrible, but I've heard it's pretty important. Jimothy, he's amazing. Johnny C, that's me. I'm pretty mediocre. But we have other amazing people in the studio, like Ross Komarinetz with Brightway Insurance, Juno Beach. Ross, how are you?
I am doing well. Well, good to see you.
Always a pleasure, my friend. And of course, Jimmy D's over here. That's Jim DePola. I've told you for 13 plus years now, he runs a top producing Keller Williams team, the Florida Home Pros team, Keller Williams Innovations. Jimmy D, how you be?
Hey, good. I just found some more show prep.
Oh, good.
Only an hour into the show.
That's all right. I love when you're like, oh, I found something.
Yeah, I found something. Hey, what do you
piece
know?
of candy.
Today was like not a good day for technology.
You want to take this phone call?
Yeah, please. That would be great.
We have Mike checking in with us. He had a couple questions about homeowners insurance, so we'll get right into it. Mike, welcome to Florida Talk Real Estate.
All right. Am I on the air?
You are. Mike, how are you?
Excellent. How are you guys doing this morning?
Real good.
We're doing great, Mike. How is it up in New York? Is everything going good up there?
It's nice weather.
Yeah.
The electric bill is almost doubled for some reason. Not for some reason. This is a green initiative passed by HOAs. Anyways, thankfully we have a lot of most of our appliances are natural gas, but delivery. It's funny. I've got the electric bill right in front of me. I'm looking at it right now. So, anyways,
having an electric bill double sounds horrible.
Yeah, that doesn't sound fun.
Yeah. No, that sounds. What's your electric bill?
No. So right now we've got, like I said, we've got everything's natural gas, all our appliances and everything. Right now it's $446.
Oh,
wow.
$226. What they're doing is upgrading the whole system up here. They're not allowing natural gas appliances in 2026 in any new home builds, which is fantastic, right? So you can use more electric. And then she wants everyone to have electric cars and such. You can plug those in as well. I work with people that have $700-800 because their whole house is electric. $700-800 bills in the winter. You're heating with it, which is extremely expensive.
Oh my goodness,
$700 or $800.
That's brutal.
Yeah.
That wasn't the reason for my call, but it's just too funny. I got the National Grid bill in front of me, so that's good. Anyways, that's a good topic.
I'm sorry to hear that. Good luck on Powerball.
Yeah,
more
exactly.
bills, more of these bills. That's all.
Well, when you get stressed, you just come down to Orlando, right? And you go to your second home in Orlando,
There
right?
it is. Much less for the
Yeah, much less for your utility bills there.
All right, so we've got my question about insurance was we did a new build July. Jim knows the whole story down in Florida. And our homeowner's insurance had asked me, what is the breed of your dog? And the first and second line, question number one was American Pit Bull Terrier, Pit Bull, anything with Pit Bull in it. Second line was Staffordshire Terrier. We've run a DNA test on our dog. This was years ago. We ran a DNA test on our dog, and he's actually half American Pit Bull Terrier and half Staffordshire Terrier, which we're going to notify our insurance company of. But my question is, do all companies down in Florida recognize breeds? My insurance company up here does not. I can have any type of dog that I want. Ours walks like a soldier on the leash outside the house, but he's extremely protective and does not like males. So he has to be in the cage when we have company over most times. But so that was my question.
Yeah, I mean, all the companies are going to have, an excluded dog breed. Some companies will still in Florida. Yeah, they all have it. Now, some companies will still offer you coverage, but they may just exclude liability.
Okay.
Would it be all liability or just liability for the dog?
Depends on the carrier.
Okay.
So,
would an umbrella policy cover that? Like up here, I have an umbrella policy, covers the house, extra on the vehicles, etc.
So I would check with your umbrella company, but a lot of the times, if something is excluded under the liability of your homeowner's insurance, then that would extend to the umbrella, meaning the umbrellas, I think they call it what's called like follow form or something. Where like if it's excluded, if it's not covered by your homeowners, then your umbrella is not going to cover it.
Okay. And then my next question, I know you're not searching dogs every day, but I didn't know, like in New York State, it's first bite free, basically. There's nothing you can do. And then second one is you can get, I think you can have a lawsuit for something of that nature, but I know that's what they always say, like first bite's free. I know people that have gotten bitten by dogs, and there's basically nothing you can do. I didn't know how that was in Florida. I definitely need this dog covered. God forbid he got loose or something. I'm not saying he's a terror, but.
So there's also separate animal liability policies that you can get. I had a client who had a couple of German Shepherds, and we got him an animal liability policy because we couldn't get it on his.
German Shepherds are on the list?
Dobermans, German Shepherds, Rottweilers.
Yeah, that wasn't in the lines 1 and 2 though. I don't think that was one. The biggest one was like pit bull,
mastiffs,
mastiffs. Yeah, like what is this? Corsario, Percourse, whatever.
Cane Corso, those ones.
Yeah. And I'm glad you went there, Ross, because that was going to be my question. Is like, okay, well, if you can find a policy, right, and they eliminate the dog or eliminate the liability, is there options for these dog lovers? I mean, you're not giving up your dog, right? This is a member of the family. Is there options for us? And are they at least competitive? I mean, is he gonna get crushed on that because of his breed?
I mean, I can't remember the numbers offhand, like what it was for the 2 German Shepherds.
You probably don't do it every day.
No, not really. But I mean, it was. I mean, I don't think it was like $2,000 or anything like that, like per year. You know what I mean? It wasn't like it wasn't. I don't remember going, whoa,
that's brutal.
Yeah.
All right. Of course, everything can change.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, but
yeah, but there is an excluded dog breed, and a lot of the times people, the insurance companies go out and they're like, oh, hey, we noticed a pit bull in the backyard. What's going on?
And on the liability portion, that's all about if somebody gets injured on your property, if like that's what liability is covering, right? All somebody else having an altercation on your property or with
slip and
fall, cut themselves, or
fall out of your tree, whatever, right?
Yeah.
Interesting.
That's pretty wild.
Your dog bites somebody.
Your dog bites somebody. Yes.
Not your kid, but your kid bites on you.
Right. Yeah, of course.
It's funny that Mike called about this because I was reading about the list of the top 10 favorite dogs. They come out with that every year. And I haven't looked at it in a while. And, labs or Goldens are usually at the top of the list or close to the top.
Understand.
And then for a long time, American Staffordshire Terriers were in that top 10 list for a long time.
I understand.
Because a lot of vets love those dogs. I remember my vet said at the time, this is like 15 years ago, you ever get another dog, I would do American Staffordshire. They're great dogs.
They are. A couple of my favorite dogs.
Yeah, so they can be great dogs, but they're so restricted by HOAs, condos, insurance policies. Now they're not even in the top 10 anymore. What I noticed, I thought that was surprising. Chihuahuas were like number 1 at one point, just recently.
And they're jerks.
The Labradors, I know, I got that. I did get bit by a Chihuahua as a kid. And now the Labs are number 1 again because they combine the yellow and the black Labs together.
Chihuahuas and Dalmatians, both those dogs are jerks.
Dalmatians can be very hyperactive, very anxiety driven. Right.
And bitey.
It's like, they can be very nippy for sure. Yeah.
At one point in college, in our little tiny house, we had a black lab, a Great Dane, and a Dalmatian.
Oh, how was the Dalmatian?
The Dalmatian was a puppy. So it was bananas, but it was big, like for a puppy. It was like a year old. It was still just bananas, I mean, crazy. And then a big Great Dane, it was like a 900 square foot.
I was gonna say, where did the owners live? Because they were living in that house. On the
dogs. Did they all get along? Did the dogs get along?
Yeah, which just created more chaos, but
right, of course. Now they got to gang up together and do crazy stuff together.
They just played, and it was just like just a ball of fur and just mass just rolling around it.
Slobber.
Yeah.
So how old's your dog, Mike? How old is it, and what's its name?
So the dog is 1 year old. We adopted him when he was 1 year old. He was a rescue, so he had been abused. From what we can tell, he's 8 years old now.
Okay.
They don't realize their age once they get activated and they're on alert. Age doesn't bother them. They forget about that. What's a good thing to tell your listeners while I'm on the phone? I don't want to keep you all day, but the Staffordshire Terrier and the American Pit Bull Terrier, we had to have a retired canine trainer come over. He worked with the dog for a half hour, worked with us for 5 hours. And he said, this is not a beginner dog. This is not something you start out with, especially it's not a puppy. He's already a year old, etc. But we've got him, like I said, we can get him under control. But males, he does not like males. But like I said, walking down the road, we've got him like a soldier. It's not a problem.
Yeah.
That's good training.
Yeah. And I mean, most of the time, a lot of these incidents that happen are irresponsible dog owners. Sounds like Mike's a very responsible dog owner and recognizes, what he has. And
zero control over the dog.
Right.
The irresponsible dog owners have been the biggest detriment to all those breeds. I mean, ultimately, that's really the root
for
cause.
sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Have you ever seen them in the fight rings and stuff? I used to have to cover that as a crime reporter. Oh my God, the way that those dogs are treated and everything.
Yeah, you'll cry for hours. Yeah,
it's just
if you're a dog lover.
Yeah.
Now, this may seem a little silly, but Ross, is there if you put your dog and you have one of those breeds, if you put them through any sort of behavioral training, can that help with your insurance policy? Much like going to driving school for a young child, person going for auto insurance.
I have not heard of that.
Okay, all right.
I don't know.
It seems a little silly, but maybe
I don't think so.
Right.
I just my logical dealing with insurance underwriters and companies that no,
doesn't feel like that would be a matter.
Do they do that with driving still? If a student driver goes through a course, they used to. I mean, it was a while ago.
I think some carriers still offer that, but I mean, it's like.
So even that
$1.
So
like people are like, I went through the ARP, whatever, AAA, whatever, driving school for seniors, and it's like, awesome, but it saved you $1.
Right.
You got the sticker.
Okay, good to know.
It is a good thing that we're talking about this because Mike's stepson, Mike Rouse's stepson,
the mortgage guy from the mortgage
firm, which is the reason why he's not here right now. He's helping his stepson move into his new home. So I'm really excited for Alex. Congratulations.
Cool.
First time home buyer, young kid. I think he's only like 23, 24 years old buying a house.
Amazing.
Is that awesome?
That is great.
Yes, I'm really excited for him. So, but he was smart enough because of having Mike and Tiffany as parents that he knows he's going to be getting a dog that might be a restricted breed for certain communities, and he was moving into a townhome. So even though he doesn't have the dog yet, he was checking with the community to see what dogs would be allowed before he bought the place. He looked at one of our places that we sold recently, and he didn't buy it because of the dog restrictions. Is one of the reasons.
Yeah, it shows you how much.
So at least you have to, even though he doesn't have the dog yet, he knows he's going to buy one of those restricted breeds. So he's already actively thinking, I don't want to create this a problem for myself in the future.
Right. So
he's trying to find a community that would be okay with.
Awesome.
So, well, Mike, thank you so much. So I'm glad the weather's up there. You're going to have a good weekend up there. I hope you're going to take advantage of the 3-day weekend.
Yeah, definitely. Last word on the dog, pound for pound. Our dog's only 70 to 80 pounds. I don't need that we wanted home protection, but I don't think we needed this level of protection. I'm not a drug lord or something like that. Okay. No, I'm going to have a great weekend. You guys have a great weekend.
Thank
God
you.
bless. All right.
You be
Thanks, you
well.
too.
And I found that under I'd rather have that extra protection and not need it than to need it and not have it. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
That's what I'm talking about. Who else you got blinking over there on that phone line there, Jimothy?
We got about 4 months ago, this person called in. His name is Sheldon, and we gave him some advice, and it worked in his favor. And he wanted to to thank us, and then give the story on what happened. Sheldon, welcome to Florida Talk Real Estate.
Hey, Sheldon, what's up?
Hey, yes, hello. I just I called. I wanted to thank you. A few months ago, I was actually given an eviction notice from my community, and I was having a great deal of problem trying to get some legal aid and so on. And you had spoke to me and mentioned Charles Simon. I'll just give the name.
Right.
You know,
Yes. So how did that go?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It worked out terrifically in the long run. I'm calling from my house, which Charles and I had gotten together. He had me write up some history of what was going on and so on. And then he put together a letter and sent that out and so forth. And the I'll call it the other side, they backed down almost completely. I had to pay a small fee. They said for their time and effort or whatever, but they backed down completely. And I'm still here, happy to be here. And as I said, it was a large part. I was really up against it at the time, but when you gave me his name and contact and so on, it went from there. It took, a few months of back and forth or whatever, but everything has turned out in my favor. And I really, as I said, I listened every now and then to the broadcast, and on it said any real estate related issues and so on. So I gave you a call, and it really worked out in my favor. So I wanted to say thank you. And you did say, get back, let you know how things worked out. And sometimes you need the legal help. They wouldn't even talk to me, the other side. They said a lawyer only. As I said, he did everything he needed to do. And I'm here. And that manager who was giving me so much problems and so on, she's gone. I'm not saying it was related to this. I don't know, but she left the company a few weeks ago.
Good.
So I'm here and she's not, and I'm a happy camper, and happy to be in my house. So
ding dong, the witch is dead.
Yeah. Real. I won't go into all the details and all. I thought it was all somewhat frivolous, but it was legal. They had their lawyers, and they were going to evict me on June 20th. That was the date. And and as I said, everything fortunately has turned out really good.
Well, that's
I just
excellent.
wanted to get back to you guys and your listeners and sort of let you know if it's related to real estate, you guys can be of a big, big help.
Oh, no doubt about it. Well, thank you for the update, and thanks for tuning in when you can. The update's always appreciated. I'm really glad you got good advice, got good leadership. And again, glad that Jim's got the resources that we do with the Florida Talk Real Estate team. Have a great rest of your weekend, and thanks so much for the update on that. That's very cool.
Thank you very much again. You've really helped me out tremendously.
Awesome.
Thank you.
You have a great rest of your weekend.
So the phone number works.
It does, yeah.
Yes,
you can dial in 877-927-6969. And I always tell you that when you need a professional, a pro's pro, anything that's touching the world of real estate, I got them for you. FloridaTalkRealEstate.com. Now, in Sheldon's case, he actually got referred to a non-member of the Florida Talk Real Estate team. But this team is about making sure you get done what you need done right by you and your people. Jim didn't make any money on this situation. There's no referral. This is Jim cared about the outcome for Sheldon and got him where he needed to go. And look, these guys are all in business. This is how they make their living, but it is about getting you the results you needed. Not every situation is about making money. It's about doing right by the community, the people, and that's the Florida Talk Real Estate way. That's why we've been doing this for 13 plus years now on the radio. It's supporting the audience. You guys referring out because of the expertise you get, because you get advice that's so very, very needed in circumstances. And you're not getting charged for just getting some leadership, some idea, and understanding of where you need to be. Florida talkrealestate.com. Know it, use it, love it, share it. It's Florida. Talkrealestate.com.
What an unexpected surprise that made
It's
my
nice.
day today.
I
I
love it.
was a little down in the dumps today, so thank you, Sheldon. That really helped out a lot. We are the resource for people. So if you need stuff, you just give us a call, and if we can help you, we're going to help you. And if we don't know how to help you, we're going to try to find the people that can. And we don't charge anything. The only time that you're going to pay anybody that you call from the show is if you hire them to do a service for you. If not, we just try to be a valuable resource to find out what your options are. So thank you so much. And Sheldon, again, you made my day today.
Yeah, super cool.
Yeah, very cool. The funny part is that Charles Simon, I've referred him to so many people. He has no idea who I am. Right? So I know it's so funny. I met him. Wow. I probably met him in 2003, 2005, when I was full-time investor, and he used to speak about being a landlord evictor, right? So he's like, hey, if you're a landlord and you need somebody evicted, hire me and I'll take care of it for you. And then he showed us all the ways that landlords don't file the eviction process properly. And then part of his job is to go through those files at the courthouse. And if he doesn't like what he sees, if it isn't filed correctly, he calls up the tenants.
Be like, I get this thrown out for you.
And
if you
said,
want.
hey, would you like to live in the house? I'm not saying this is exactly what he says, but hey, would you like to live in the house for free for another 6 months? Right? Just hire me and I'll make sure that they can't evict you right away, because they did. Not because he's doing anything illegal, it's because the landlord didn't follow the right process.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what it is. If they're not dotting their I's and crossing their T's, there's an angle to get it thrown out. And that's how so much is done. They screwed that up. You want to fix it for you? I can do that.
And then he's been doing this for so long, right? I didn't even know if he was retired when he sent with Sheldon. He's been around a long time. But he's been around so long that after a while, the landlord started waking up and saying, who the heck is this guy that's screwing up all our evictions? And then they started hiring him. Right. Then the landlord's like, hey, why don't you do my eviction story? So I do it right the first time.
That's funny.
So, so anyway, it's funny. I think I've referred 6 or 7 people to him this year alone. And I go, tell him the radio show guy calls, but he's not going to know me at all. Just call him up and say, we hear you're the landlord eviction guy. So it's kind of funny. Wanted to let's go ahead. We're not going to do the 10:30. Okay, we're just going to plow through.
Okay.
So Ross, my question is, I gave you this example over the phone yesterday, but I'm just trying to reiterate many things that you've talked about over the years about when to file a claim, what you need to know about filing a claim, things like that. So let's say that there's a storm and I got a 30-foot tall oak tree in my backyard. And then it crashes and it lands on my roof, right, because of a bad storm. This actually happened in real life with one of our customers recently. And it crashes onto the roof, right? And let's say that there's some damage, but it isn't like, it went through the sheathing and there's an open hole in the ceiling or something. It's more like damaged tiles, things like that, right? And then the tree, of course, that went down itself. How do you decide if you should file a claim, who you should call first, that kind of stuff, when you have an issue like that? Like you come home and you found your water heater flooded out part of the house or something. How do you know, first of all, who you should call and whether you should call or not? Because that's one of the things I'm trying to teach here, is sometimes you might not want to make the call that you think you want to make. So
I think what we're trying to figure out is we got to assess the damage, right? Just because there's some, like a catastrophic event, like a hot water heater exploding or something like that. While it is catastrophic and water's everywhere, it may just need to be dried up.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no reason to call the insurance company and say, hey, I have a water claim. And then they come out and they're like, well, there's no damage. It was just dried up. So now you've got a claim on your record. So when you have a situation, if the tree fell down and just grazed your house,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just maybe some tiles or something. I think the most important thing is just to get the damage assessed by a professional to figure out what we're looking at, because the hot water heater exploded. That's not going to be covered under the insurance, like the actual machine itself, right? Because it just popped. It's not like something caused damage to it. It just popped. Now the water would be covered, but you may just need to call, like a restoration dry out company, and they can come out and suck all the water out, put the fans in, the dehumidifiers, and suck it all out. And now everything's fine. And then you spent, to $1,200, $1,500,
and that's the important point. I think a lot of people don't know what their deductibles are. I mean, when I owned my house, I don't know what my deductible was. I would have called up Ross and said, "Hey, what's my deductible?" if I had a claim, right? But that's an important consideration, right? Because if your deductible is pretty high and the damage you have to your house is not going to be more than the deductible,
or even if it's just minimum, let's say your deductible is $2,500 and it's $3,000 in damage.
Right.
Right.
So, is there a value? What is the risk of making that call and filing the claim? And what you're looking at is a $500 from the insurance company, right? Because you have to pay the $2,500 up front as the deductible. So all you're doing is going to the insurance company and say, "Hey, I want an extra $500 from you." But now you have a history that you filed a claim, right? And could that raise your insurance later in the
your
future?
Insurance will go up next year for sure. But it'll be like a 10% surcharge, something around there.
You could get potentially non-renewed for that very reason.
Potentially. I mean, potential. But, it's more like, hey, if let's say you did that and then you had a real one that now paid out 10 grand. Now you've got like 2 water damage claims that are within the last 3 years, and there's probably going to be a good chance of a non-renewal.
A non-renewal.
Right.
And if you get non-renewed, what does that do to the pool of options for you at that point?
It's not so much the non-renewal, it's the 2 claims that are now dragging you. You're dragging.
It's almost like a history if you had car crashes, right? And you had a bad driving record.
You're
it's almost like the same thing. You're a higher risk now, right?
Yeah, but at least with car insurance, like you'll just have to pay a whole lot more. But most everybody's still going to offer you. There might be a couple companies that are like, no, they've kind of crashed too much. There's no way we're offering coverage. But there's going to be a company out there that's going to give you the same regular coverage. They're not going to exclude collision. They're not going to exclude you getting into an accident with somebody.
You're just going to pay for it.
You're just going to pay for it. But with homeowners, it's different. They're either going to say, "Hey, I've got companies that if you filed one, non-hurricane claim, if you filed one claim in the last, even if it was $0 paid out, like in this situation, one claim in the last 5 years, they're not going to think about offering coverage."
So let's talk about a claim.
So that's that. And I'm sorry, that means literally just picking up your phone and letting your insurance company know what's going on, starting to claim, even if you're not getting any money.
That's what I was trying to get to.
You are all that company in particular.
Call your agent first and say, "Hey," call your agent and say, "Hey, this is what's going on." And hopefully they'll give you some advice like, "Okay, hey, have you had anybody come out and look at it?" But the most important thing is I would get somebody other than the insurance company to come out and look at it.
Here's a good real world. I had a car driving in my house, smash my whole fence.
I forgot about that. I don't know how I forgot
take out my whole, like my backside of my fence, almost put their car in my pool, circle back around, and then slam into the corner of my house. And I got on the phone with Ross. My wife was hysterical, right? And I get home, I see this, and I'm like, "Oh my, what the bleep?" I get on the phone with Ross, and he's like, "Dude," he's like, "You gotta, get someone out, assess this damage." He's like, "Don't call your insurance company first and foremost." He's exactly what he just laid out. Get the details.
And this is where a guy had a car hit his house. Yeah, and you don't just pick up the phone.
Believe my instinct is to pick up.
Right, of course, that's what you would do.
There's a car in the. And Ross is like, no, there is a process here. And that doesn't mean you're not going to get your insurance involved.
Right.
That's not at all what he was saying. He says, but he just laid out, there is a process. You take the first step first, do your assessment, get real people out there that you can have understanding what it's going to cost. And then you laid it out to and then you see where you're at. And we didn't call my insurance company. because
the guy's auto insurance paid for it.
Right.
Yep. See?
Oh, and that's another thing, right? Because somebody else might take care of it. So
he's got because when you're driving around in your car, one of the limits is property damage liability. So if you crash your car into somebody else's property, there is coverage to pay for that damage.
So
and Ross laid that all out for me. Now, it was a long process. It was well over a year. Thankfully, we had some resource thank you, Mom, to be able to take care of the needed fixes and then get reimbursed later. But there was a bunch of people involved in this claim, which made for a long process. And I get how not everybody might not have that luxury. And if you don't have that luxury, maybe you are kind of stuck calling your insurance company, and that's only going to be a detriment to you. I understand that.
I mean, the insurance company will depending on the extent of the damage, would subrogate. Depends on how much it would cost their attorneys to go and subrogate and sue that guy's auto insurance company to get the money that you would have already gotten.
Right.
But you now have a claim on your record.
It's
but it
on my
would show subrogation, some carriers might be cool with that. Like, hey, it really wasn't his fault. And kind of let you off the hook on that claim.
Some carriers use that.
Some carriers, but you kind of you did it to where you didn't get it involved, and now it's not on you. Next time you get a policy, it's not going to show up.
So I have a question about that though. So if a different insurance company took care of Johnny's house, the driver's insurance company took care of Johnny's house, does that still somehow show on Johnny's record that his house had an insurance claim on it?
No, because we took care of it on our own, and then got a check a year later
from the insurance company, right? But that's what I'm saying. Does that doesn't attach to the house?
No, it'll only show up in that driver's claim that as part of the total damage that was paid out of the claim.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't do anything with Johnny's house.
So these are the takeaways that I really think are important here. Number one, don't just pick up your phone if you have damage to your house. Don't just reflexively pick up your phone, because that's what people normally think to do.
If you come out and your house is burned down,
call him.
Yeah. Call him. Yeah, maybe you can call Ross first. He's probably going to tell you to call him.
But you come home and everything looks catastrophic and it's super stressful. Oh my gosh, my house is underwater, or there's a tree in my front yard, or whatever it is. It looks scary, and you think it's the end of the world. I mean, this is your biggest investment. This is your home. This is where you live. This is where your family lives.
What am I going to do?
Right. It's ruined, but it may not be,
Right.
It may just be, hey, we just need to dry it out. No big deal.
So that's my other, just for the tips though. First thing, don't just pick up the phone and call your insurance company, because that might not be a good thing. Call your agent first.
What's your, I think people often think, I have a timeline here. If I don't let them know.
Well, I was getting to that. I'm sorry. Ahead. I was going to get to that. I wanted to get that to the next thing. So before I get there, so you got to call your agent or call contractors or whatever you need to figure out what the damage is, right? But that's what I was going to ask about with Johnny. How long? What happens if it takes you 10 days to get contractors out there to give you quotes and stuff to know what's going on? Can they say, hey, you didn't file the claim for 10 days, so you're in trouble?
I don't know the exact dates that you have to file a claim by.
Okay.
But I know it's not going to be 10 days.
Okay.
It's not going to be something like that.
Right.
If you're, I would imagine that if you had, in a water claim type of thing, you come home, your house is flooded, you're not waiting 10 days, right? You're getting somebody out, and you should have no problem getting somebody out there that same day, or even, first thing the next morning. So, but I don't think it's going to be so, even if you had those people out and dried it out and everything was good. And then maybe later you found some more and you're like, oh crap, now it is a lot more. It's $15,000 in damage that we found after the fact. As long as you've documented everything, you could go back to the insurance company and, hey, this is what happened.
Okay.
Take pictures.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you say document, what are we talking about?
Yeah, I mean, so most of the restoration companies will actually take the pictures for you, before, after, once everything's dry. But yeah, you definitely want to, make sure that you can show what that damage was, what it was from, and be able to show that to your insurance company so that they can determine whether it's covered or not.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's gosh, I know the feeling because I've seen my house with a car shoved into it, my fence all blown up. But if pipes burst or the water heater and the house is flooded, I mean, I'm glad I have a resource like you to be able to pick up the phone. But I don't know if I would instinctively be like, okay, don't call my insurance company. Like, that feels like an instinctive move. I think this is a very valuable conversation because it doesn't matter what situation, if you can step back, take a breath, and think for a second instead of impulsively reacting, it's always going to be a much better outcome. And in this one in particular, man, the repercussions that follow you if you pick up the phone and let your insurance company know what you're doing, even if they don't give you money, the repercussions that can follow you are pretty substantial. Could be.
Yeah, and I mean, prior claims are a big deal because there's a ton of times where you get to the end and you go to finalize the policy, and that's kind of when they run what they call a claims report. And you'll go to somebody and say, "Hey, do you remember filing a claim in December of 23?" Like, no. Well, it was related around something maybe like water or something. That, oh yeah, we had a leak and then we called it. They didn't even pay anything out. And I'm like, well, sorry.
God, that seems so weird.
It does seem weird. That's why I wanted to bring it up this week again. We've talked about this in the past, but it's super valuable for people that are in the jam, and you never think about this stuff until you're in the jam, right? So you don't even think about like what would happen if this happened and how should I handle it properly. So don't do a knee-jerk reaction. You got to have a top agent like Ross, right? Because Ross is a great resource. If you're working with Ross with your policies, very easy to call him up and get this great advice, right? And hopefully you have an agent that you know and trust, with your policy if you don't have Ross, and that they can give you the information like Ross is giving you now.
Yep.
Because a lot of them, they just fill out the policy for you and they take their commission and you never hear from them again until the next year when it gets renewed, right? And that's nice when I'm sure most of the people are like that for you too, Ross, in a way, because they don't need you, so they don't call you except to pay the bill. But it's nice to know to have the resource there when you need it. And
trusted resource too.
And Ross is really, really good at that stuff. So are there any other tips you think about filing claims or stuff that we didn't mention?
I mean, if it's a hurricane claim and, let's say, you've got $400,000 in dwelling coverage and your hurricane deductible is 2%. That means your hurricane deductible is $8,000.
Right.
Even if a storm comes through and, whatever rips off a bunch of tiles and it's only like $4,000, that's well below your deductible, but file the claim. Because your hurricane deductible is actually a calendar year deductible.
It's cumulative?
Yeah.
Oh.
So if it's 4,000, whatever, now you've got 4,000 towards the deductible.
Oh, it's kind of like when we went through, remember 03, where we had all those hurricanes come across all at one time. I think it was 03, might have been 04. And we had like 3 hurricanes come across at one time.
Francis and Jean,
that's
I
right.
remember that.
And so when if you have damage in the first one,
right,
and it's $10,000 and your deductible is $8,000, file it. Get that $2,000 because if you have damage on the next one, that one's free.
So, but is there still that like negative kind of aspect to it?
Yes, not there's a win, no, because it's like kind of considered like an act of God.
Oh, so wind claims are hurricane claims are not really handled the same way as far as future determining your value
most
of
the time. Yeah.
Oh, that's good. I didn't know that. I thought that was
now there might be like a little ding, like a little
little
ding on the premium for it, but it's not something where it's like
substantial.
Hey, we're not going to offer you. Most of the time we'll still offer you coverage at the competitive rate, but it might just be a little bit more. It's not going to.
I'm glad to hear the deductible works the way it should, because it should be a year, right? Like your medical, like your anything else where you got a deductible, it's going to be accumulative through the year. Once you hit that deductible, everything, then your full insurance kicks in. I'm glad to hear it works out that way, and glad to hear that we shouldn't hesitate when it comes to
hurricane. It's a hurricane. Yeah, that's no problem.
I just have a point here that I have to bring up. So from the insurance company's point of view, a hurricane is an act of God, so they don't really ding you for having that problem.
Right.
But if somebody drives their car through your house,
Yeah.
that's not an act of God.
Or the tree.
Or the tree falling down. That's
Right.
not an act of God too. Like that's not
or at least
anybody. Sorry about that, guys. I can't believe I was.
Well, I have one too, don't I?
I didn't actually
I
say.
didn't hear. I'm glad you said that.
I didn't say the IT part of it.
Okay.
I only said the SH.
Oh, all right. So we're good.
So it as an agent, if I have a bunch of policies with this one particular company and all those policies file a bunch of claims, that company will say, wait, we don't like the business you're writing, so we're going to terminate your appointment, right? Because hey, every policy you write comes with claims. We don't want that, so we're not going to let you write business with us anymore. I had a company I had a house that got hit by a car twice.
Oh, geez.
Oh, I've had
the same company. I had another client who had the person above him had a leak twice and caused damage to his place, and they terminated my appointment because of those two clients, because they had those
Two
crazy
clients.
multiple claims. Yeah.
Wow. Do they go the opposite too? Like you have a bunch of people that never make claims, so they call you up and be like, "Hey, you got more people?"
Yeah, you're a rock star.
That is one thing that, like, the carrier reps come around, every once in a while, and hey, what's going on? Here's what's going on with us. But they always kind of give you a rundown, and like one of the first things is like how you are claims wise.
Interesting.
Yeah, that is kind of interesting. It's kind of like with Mike. I didn't know this. With mortgage brokers, you have obligation to make sure that the person you're giving a loan to makes their payments on time, because you're vetting them. So if you have too many people that get loans and then they default too quickly, you can get in trouble.
Really?
Yes, Mike can get in trouble.
And he loses, if they default, he loses his commission too.
And his commissions go back if it defaults too early.
They're
like, give us our commissions back. But if it happens too many times, it actually hurts his license.
I can only see that because he's the one that's personally working with them. So
he has to find out the financials and all that.
I think you know what you're doing, dude.
But he's determining if they can afford it, if it does fit into their budget. He's not determining
whether they're going to pay it or not.
Often you look at the credit, that credit score tells you how
he's not the underwriter,
right? But then they could just make that's weird. That's weird. And I think it's just as weird as Ross being punished if too many clients,
clients make a claim.
Yeah, it just feels off. It feels so off.
It feels really off.
You can't control it.
You can't, and it's almost like they're assuming your pool of clientele is it's a higher risk for some reason, and I don't know. It feels so off in so many ways.
So let's talk about HOAs for a second. Okay, well we got time. We'll switch over to HOAs. So there's a legislator named Juan Carlos Porras, state legislator out of Miami, and he's had a thing about This is not a bad thing, by the way. Okay, I'm not getting into politics. It just happens to be a legislator, and we're talking about bills, right?
I don't think anybody likes an HOA.
Yeah. Well, the thing is,
so either,
except for the people and the president. Except for the president.
Yeah, the president, right. Boca del Vista. So, so the thing is that
Serenity now.
I know, right? Serenity now. So, the thing is that I'm sorry, hold on here. This guy Juan Carlos Porras has been working on HOA stuff for like 4 or 5, 3. Well, he's only been elected since 2022, but since 2022, he's put all these bills together to deal with HOAs. So he finally got one passed. He put out a couple bills. They didn't get through, but he did get one that passed that's called the Homeowners Association's Bill of Rights, or the Homeowners Bill of Rights for Homeowners Associations. And it basically, I think this legislation was smart in the fact that it trained the HOA board. they had higher qualifications for training for the HOA board, which I really feel is needed, right? Also to make sure that they understood the finances were more transparent to everybody in the community, and that the meetings were more transparent, because a lot of time the board would set meetings and none of the residents knew what was going on or anything. So now they have a bigger obligation to make sure that everybody knows that the meetings are happening so they can be there if they want to attend. So, but he didn't get everything passed that he wanted over the years. So now he's got a wild hair now where he says, I think we should just shut down all HOAs. And he's saying, we live in a free state. You know, he's really going to free stater thing. We live in a free state. Nobody should tell me what to do with my house. And I was reading it and I was like, well, that sounds good conceptually, but HOAs have been around for a very long time because people want them, right? Nobody's holding a gun to your head and saying, you got to move into an HOA. People move in HOA because they want to move in HOA. One of the first things that buyers do when they talk to a real estate agent, what's one of the first things that they tell you other than what size house they want? HOA or not HOA?
Right.
I don't want to live in an HOA. Or, you know, I want it. Some people want the HOA. Why? They don't want to have a jalopy, you know, piece of junk car on cinder blocks parked in their next door neighbor's yard, or have a blue tarp over their roof for 2 years because they don't want to put the roof on,
or 3 feet of grass next
or
to you,
3 feet of grass
or,
really high,
yeah,
right?
dead grass everywhere. Yeah.
Right. So, they want to have a pool, but they don't want to have a pool in their backyard. They rather have a community pool, so they don't have the upkeep for the pool, right? Like all that kind of stuff.
Sure.
So there's a whole bunch of reasons why HOAs are out there. I totally understand the concept that there's been a lot of abuse with HOAs over the year because they haven't been regulated enough. But to dump HOAs seems like a really ridiculous kind of out there concept.
Well, when you talk about regulation, though, you make some people cringe. You know what I mean? Especially if you're coming from a free state perspective.
So what I did was I looked the guy up. Right now, I didn't do a full background search, okay, because I did it last night at 10 o'clock at night. And I think, I wonder if this guy lives in an HOA. So I did a super fast search with the Miami-Dade property appraiser with the guy's name. Okay, there were 5 of them there were 5 properties that either had a version of his name, maybe not the middle initial or something. So I'm not sure which of these 5 is his property, but 3 of them I could block out right away. And there were only 2 left. And the 2, one of them was a condo. So that would be a condo association.
Definitely.
And the other one was in an HOA community. So I'm pretty sure this guy lives either in a condo or an HOA community. And I bet you if you go in there, you're going to find that he's mad about something. He's mad about something with his HOAs, I'm guessing. I think that his heart is in the right place about trying to make sure that these things are more under control. I feel like it's been the wild, wild west for HOA boards, right?
And I hear a lot of complaints about not so much the HOA, it's the property managers that the HOAs
they're the worst.
Hire.
They're the worst of the worst.
Just like they're almost like mercenaries that are out there like yelling at people, and it's like, dude, we live here, dude. You can't.
Let me tell you about these condo boards and HOAs that hire these bad property management companies, and there's so many bad ones out there. So many bad ones. They just don't give a rat's you know what about property values, what's good for the community or not. It's all about the rules. And a lot of them won't give you documents that are really required for the seller to give to the buyer, and they just go, it's too bad, we're not giving them to you. And property managers are the worst. I can name some of them that I really, really hate to deal with, but I'm not going to do that right now. But the bottom line is the HOA thing, just like property taxes, I don't believe they're going to go away. If they try to kill the HOAs, like, can you imagine if they shut down HOAs that are already existing? Who's going to take care of the clubhouse? Who's going to pay for the pool? What about the private roads that are not private anymore? Because now who's going to take care of those roads?
Well, who's going to come in and say they have a deciding factor that you can't have an HOA? Like, I don't understand how that's even plausible.
Yeah, I don't even can you imagine if the legislature just say, we don't care about your HOA and your HOA rules and all the covenants that you signed when you moved here. it's all going away.
Yeah, we're wiping it out.
Yeah, it just doesn't make any sense. Right?
It seems unattainable.
Now maybe they can create a law that says no more HOAs are allowed in the state.
It can be created
moving forward. That could happen. I don't think that would be smart, because there are a lot of people that like living in HOAs.
Of course.
Right? There's pros and cons, and it just depends on your personal situation.
But even in like regular neighborhoods that you would drive through just commuting somewhere, you don't think there's an HOA, but there is.
There could be.
There might be something where in that particular neighborhood you can only put on a tile roof. Even though those houses are built in the 70s and there's no gate, there's no specific thing, or little things like that people don't realize.
Well, and even if you're not an HOA, code enforcement is going to come through, right?
Yeah.
Code enforcement exists even if you don't have an HOA.
Yeah.
I got the Village of Royal Palm. They'll come leave notices on my door for all kinds of things if I don't have upkeep on my property.
Right. Grass is too high. Get a notice from the town.
You need to power wash your driveway. You need. I mean, the list goes on. I can see your garbage can on the side of your house. Like, I don't live in an HOA. But code can come through and do that.
Sure.
Yes, they can.
Yeah.
And some of the benefits of HOA, if you have a neighbor that you don't get along with, it's actually can work as a buffer for you, right? Where if you got a crazy person living next door to you, you can complain to the HOA if they're violating rules. Let the HOA deal with it. You don't have to fight with your neighbor.
True.
You know what I mean?
True.
So, anyway, I just thought it was funny that they're thinking about downing HOAs along with property taxes. Can you imagine if they got rid of HOAs and property taxes in Florida? I mean, I don't know who's going to pay for what, because somebody's got to pay for all that stuff.
Both feel like complete nonsense, a waste of everybody's time, and just like some pipe dream stuff,
Yeah.
Both feel
What
like
do you
nonsense.
think about the property taxes? Okay.
We don't need no stinking property taxes.
I think let's do it with all income tax too. Like let's wipe it all out. I think everybody's on board. Let's go.
I own my home. I don't have, but I mean, that money's got to come from somewhere else to pay for the stuff that you use along with everybody else.
It does.
It's for sure.
Yes, it does. You hear that music? That means that we are officially out of time on a Saturday. We appreciate you being with us every Saturday. Always remember FloridaTalkRealEstate.com. We're on Facebook and YouTube. Thanks for streaming with us on a Saturday. Lots to consume there, and you should hit the like button, share it. And of course, FloridaTalkRealEstate.com is your resource, the one-stop real estate shop. Pros, they're experts in their field, and you get them all at FloridaTalkRealEstate.com. Like Rice Komarinetz. Ross, always a pleasure to have you in. Brightway Insurance, Juno Beach, represented phenomenally. Have a great Labor Day weekend.
Thank you. I hope you do too. Go Knowles.
Jimmy D's over here with the Florida Home Pros team. Thanks for all that you do, my friend. Have a fantastic long holiday weekend.
Thank you. I hope everybody has a great holiday weekend. It's Labor Day or Memorial Day?
Labor Day.
Labor Day.
Yeah.
Everybody have a good